The Horrible Gamers podcast may contain content not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Horrible Gamers podcast, show number 413, being recorded on January the 3rd, 2023. I'm going to be your host, Jesus Gonzalez, known as Jesus Walks Out. Today I'm joined by my friend from the West Coast, the Best Coast, the Gunny Chief Henley Merrill is back. Welcome back, Henley. Welcome.
Hi, it's good to be back. Glad I'm back.
Glad you're back. It's good to be back.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. And the Mayo cannot make it today, ladies and gentlemen, because he's busy.
Doing what?
Mayo stuff.
Probably.
Whatever the Mayo
Maybe he
does.
went to get Evan, bring him back again.
Oh, maybe he did. His name is Edward in Ohio, by the way.
Yeah, he went to get Edward. Edward's coming back with me.
He is only Evan on the West Coast. He's Edward in Ohio. Anyways, welcome back, Gunny. Happy New Year, man, and Happy New Year to all the listeners out there. Hope you all had a great Christmas or holidays, whatever you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate, well, then I hope you had a great 2 weeks. And hope you had a great New Year and New Year's celebrations. We are in a new year, Gunny.
Yeah, 2023, we're here. I really hope everybody had enough gaming time, like, you know, with the holidays.
New year, new podcast. New year, new Jesus. It's time. It's new everything.
New Gunny, I'm back. It's a new me. I got resolutions. Do you have resolutions, Jesus? I don't never have any. I figured, what's that saying I've heard recently? Like, any time is a good time to do whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with that. I kind of tend to do whatever I want whenever I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the New Year's is a good excuse to try to like set some goals, right? And
I have those. I wouldn't say they're resolutions, more like goals.
I have goals, of course. I mean, this year, you know, I don't know, man. I have a few goals in mind. A few of them, it's just they're all money kind of related goals for the most part. Of course, I want to try to stay healthy, or you know, not try to get any fucking diseases this year, or like you know anything like that. I'm gonna try not to die this year. Yeah, that's a goal.
I like that. Put that on my list right
you
now.
You know, that's something that could be out of your control. You know, you don't know what could happen. You know, at any given time. But besides that being one of my major goals this year, the other one is to just save some money. Try to save some money, more money saving. I don't know, man. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about the future, and I've been actually like starting a lot of savings accounts and shit. So like, I got my bank saving account. I opened up an IRA last month. So I've been kind of thinking about the future, you know, and like all that shit, you know, because I see a lot of guys at my work, you know, that. You know, I work in a job where there's a pension, and these guys, a lot of them rely on solely their pension for retirement, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. When I hit the time to retire, I don't want to have to work an extra year or two to make more money on my pension. I want to just fucking leave.
Yeah. So.
I've been, you know, that's why I started an IRA, and I've been, you know, slowly putting money into that. But, you know, I want to, you know, I also buy stocks and I buy crypto and shit. So
that's something we've never talked about, right? Because we discuss that once in a while in our text where, you know, we talk about Bitcoin and the recent events with FTT and stuff. And that's where I kind of first bought Bitcoin, actually. Not from FTT, but right when it happened.
Just really? Before.
Yeah, I remember so the short story is I got that Venmo account because my boss had to reimburse me for something. And I said, I've got PayPal. He goes, well, I do Venmo and something else. I'm like, okay.
People always do Venmo. I don't, like, in my whole life, I've never used Venmo, and everyone wants to use Venmo all the fucking time.
Well,
I'm like,
I checked, and it's part of PayPal owns it, but you can't do a transfer between the two for some weird reason.
It's fucking ridiculous, man. I don't know. People use Venmo all the time, or like Zelle. And, like, I don't trust those fucking things, right? Because, like, if somebody wants to scam you, they can totally just fucking steal your money from those things, you know?
Yeah.
Like, at least PayPal, you have a little bit of recourse. You can go into your bank, or, like, you can go to your PayPal and be like, hey, motherfucker, like, this guy's a scam or something, and PayPal might try to help you, you know? Where you do that shit to Zelle or Cash App or fucking Venmo or whatever, like all those other ones. And those things are like scam city, dude.
Yeah. I know now Kyle, my son, he's bought things like, I don't know, not so much Roblox cards, but maybe it's like some skins or something. And it just even had like a shady name to it. But I felt pretty good going into it using my PayPal account. And really not had an issue because when I think about it, like, they probably saw, oh, well, he's paying with PayPal, so I shouldn't screw with that, you know? And, you know, he's even said, like, well, I got what I wanted out of it or whatever, you know, for Bob Shady Inc. or something. Like, okay, all right, just double checking. Yeah, haven't had an issue. Then that's how I do my CD keys. You know, I always pay with PayPal, so.
Yeah. So, I usually use PayPal for everything that I pay. And then for, like, all my crypto and stocks and most of that bullshit that I buy, I use Robinhood for all that stuff. It's just because Robinhood, I feel like it's an established platform, and it's just it's very user friendly. You know what I mean? Compared to like using like an IRA or a stock portfolio from like I don't know, like Merrill and Lynch or whatever. You know, like those fucking banks
TWA
or, whatever,
or something like that. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, like those different investment firms or whatever. Like you use their investment portfolios, and they're a little bit more complicated to look at and read and understand. Or like Robinhood kind of makes that shit like stupefied. Like, oh, we're gonna make this kind of easy for you here. You know, like this is what you're doing. This is what you plan to do. This is what might happen. This is how much money you might lose. You know, and they always tell you they're pretty upfront about shit. They're like, hey, look, like any money you put in here, it's quite safe until it's not. You know, like at any given time, these fucking stocks can fail and you can lose all your money. Like in a matter of seconds. So I hope you just know that you're doing that when you're putting money into this shit. And like, you know, that's the difference between investing money into different things like crypto and stocks and shit, and like saving money in your bank account. Where like, I guess saving your money is more, I guess, safe, right? Because the bank is insured or whatever by the federal government, and typically banks don't go under. The other thing though is that, you know, I think at any given time, any of the institutions, even like a bank, if the government really wanted to freeze all your money, they could, you know, they could just be like, no one's allowed to make any transactions anymore. And they could do that. But I mean, that's like, for that to happen, the economy has to be really, really, really bad. I'm talking like we're fucked.
Yeah. So I had a neighbor, and I know I've heard of this, or maybe a lot of us have probably heard about it before, but maybe a different situation where her ex-husband from like 5 years ago or whatever, you know, because they filed jointly in taxes or something. Yeah. And she was saying that, she goes, yeah, I had like I don't know, like $6,000 in her account. Like, it was just hers, right? And her little Bank of America, whatever freaking account. You know, it's probably a big bank or something. I don't know if it has to be. But then she's like, yeah, so what happened was the government just reached in there and pretty much took most of it, you know? Yeah. And I was like, out of your bank account? She goes, yeah, well. And then she goes, yeah, because we filed jointly or whatever, so you're partially responsible for those taxes. And they sent her a letter saying, look, you know, the government.
If you get divorced and say Gunny, say you were to get divorced like next week, and say you decided before you, because you know you're going to get divorced, right? Your wife hits you with the paperwork. You know it's going to happen. So in a fit of rage, you decide to sell your house. And you sell your house, and then you decide to just go to the bank and fucking take out all the money in the bank that you have.
Yeah.
So say you have, I don't know, say you have like $100,000 in the bank. You take it all out, dude. So when it comes to the actual divorce proceedings, like all that shit was already taxed by the government when they took it out or whatever, right? Because you took all that money out, they tax you. But at the same time, the court, you know, at that point will look at you and they'll be like, okay, now you owe your wife or your ex-wife like 3/4 of that money, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, like now you owe this much and you have to pay it back. and they will come after you, man. Like, I have a guy that I work with that he's dealing with all that. He said that he went through a divorce and that in a fit of rage, he liquidated all his shit, all of it. And he like ended up owing the government like $100,000.
Damn.
Yeah, so he
but you know,
said,
I think
he said don't fuck with them. He said the feds will come after you.
But you think about, like, I mean, you've got all your major banks, then you got all your credit unions, right? And all these different things, right? Your little community banks. But I always think, like, how does the government even know I have a checking account? Like, who told them? What is this like? I don't know. Did I give them my social security number when I signed up for a checking account? I must have, or something, right?
Yeah.
But
Usually every bank will require some type of social security number or something, you know,
right.
like an
your identification, you know, card or whatever.
Mostly something to tax you with. Whatever they can track your taxes with is what they require, and the government has access to all that.
Yeah.
Which is why when you file your IRS, you know, with the IRS, your taxes, they know everything you made in the year, you know.
Right.
And yeah, you might get away with, like, I don't know, fucking up a little bit here and there. You know, maybe you put in the wrong number or something. But sometimes they'll just come back right away and they'll be like, hey, motherfucker, you put in the wrong number. Put in the right number.
Oh, yeah. Right. They know it's wrong. You know?
Or they'll even come back like a year later. Okay, it'll go through, right? And you think, oh, everything's fine. And they'll come back a year later and be like, hey, motherfucker, we were looking at your taxes from 2 years ago and you did not disclose this, Gunny. Oh. And now you owe us.
You think you're home safe already, but nope, they got you.
But I mean, most of the time though, the feds will work with you. You know, like they're not there to put you in jail. I mean, unless you like somehow really scam them out of like $1 million or something, which people do. You know, people do lie and they get like a big ass refund.
Yeah.
But some people just, you know, get lucky. Like this one lady in Oregon, I remember reading a story a few years ago where she got like $1.5 million in her tax return, and they sent her like a prepaid Visa card with a fucking $1.5 million on it. Right? So they sent her this card, right? And she's out there buying like new Mercedes. She bought like 3 new cars. She bought a bunch of like luxury shit. I think she flew to like Morocco or something. But then she ended up losing her fucking card. She lost the bank card. So she calls the bank and she's like, hey, I lost my fucking card. I need a new one. And they're like, holy fuck, how do you have like $1 million on a prepaid card? So what did the bank do? The bank called the IRS.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And the IRS was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And so, yeah, dude, they came and arrested her ass.
Oh, my
and they arrested her for, like, fraud and all this shit. But can you imagine, like when that comes through and you, like, the card actually shows up at your house, you're like, holy fuck, I got away with this?
Yeah.
She
should have bought Bitcoin. It's unregulated, man.
Yeah, no. She should have bought Bitcoin and left the country.
Right. Gave it to Sam Bankman-Fried, right?
Yeah.
Hold on to this.
Non-extradition fucking country and leave, man. But yeah, anyway, enough money talk. But yeah, that's like my, I guess my resolutions or my goal this year, you know, is to do that. Yeah.
That's probably partly mine. I mean, it's kind of the same thing where, especially in the last year, where I've been, you know, I don't have the TV subscription anymore, so I watch random YouTube videos, and some of them are on money, and I try to follow it as best as possible. Yeah. But one of the things I always get from these like individuals, I would say, and sometimes I just unsubscribe, I just get bored with it. But one of the things they always say is like, and one guy in particular where he always talks about staying out of debt. And I'm like, okay, I like that idea. You know, I don't know. It's kind of ingrained in me now where I do want to stay out of debt, you know, where it's like, okay, I'm going to continue to make that my goal till I retire.
It's really hard, you know. We live in a society.
Credit. We're all on credit, you know, everything I buy. We live in a
society, yeah. And the problem is that, like in the society that we live in, you cannot buy a house unless you have credit. You cannot rent an apartment unless you have credit. You can't. So it's like you can't even live a normal life because you don't have credit, because you don't want to be in debt, right?
Yeah.
So like they force you to put yourself in debt to show that you can pay off your debt, to put yourself into more debt.
Yes.
And that's how our system works. You know, they force you to, you know, be in debt to show that you can pay off your debt just to be back in more debt.
Right. Constant
And it's
loop.
fucking ridiculous, yeah. But anyways, enough of that. Mayo's resolution is to be more Mayo and less Cool Whip. And I think that's what he told me this year was his resolutions to be more Mayo and less Cool Whip. I don't know what that means.
More Camaro, less Hyundai.
Yeah. And yeah, shout out to Mayo. Happy New Year's to Mayo. Happy New Year to Evan. Hopefully Evan makes it back to Ohio fine.
I wonder if have you heard from Ryan Gibson though? I have not since he's been iced in. Ooh. I bet he's just in there playing freaking Grounded, and what else would Ryan be playing in there for the last like week? You know, while he's
those Canadians are weird, man. I mean, I don't know, like he's probably playing Grounded. That dude. I mean, I went into it. So let's talk about what we've been playing, and so let's jump right into that, I guess. And then me and Mayo joined Ryan Gibson in his Grounded game, right? That
oh yeah, that was Friday night. I think I was working.
Little People, Big World game. That's an actual full 1.0 release. And so that's a full game now. It's out. It's on Game Pass. It's available through Game Pass. I mean, you could buy it as well. I think it's like, what, $20-$30?
Yeah, it's got to be. But yeah, so Game Pass PC and Xbox, and probably 20.
I'm going to look it up right now. Grounded. Buy.
It's got to be available on everything. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not on the Switch.
It's on sale right now on Steam. It's $26.99 on Steam right now.
It's worth it, I would say.
It's 33% off. Regular price is $40, which is actually, that's a pretty good deal. It's $26.79 right now.
I know it's cross-play with Steam players. I'm not sure about PlayStation Network.
I don't think PlayStation has this game.
I don't think it's an exclusive to...
It is. I think it is an exclusive to Xbox.
So it's a console exclusive.
Well, yeah, it's a console exclusive. It's not on. It's not on. It's not on PlayStation at all. No. I feel like if it was on PlayStation, more people would be talking about this game because I feel like the PlayStation DualSense or whatever, not the DualSense, but whatever the fuck it's called. Is it called DualSense?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Whatever the PS5 controller technology is called, I feel like they would do a lot of cool things with that tech. With all the creepy crawlies crawling around, you know, like the little ants and the mud and like all that shit. I think they could do a lot of cool stuff with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With the controller.
Now you got
the
me
haptic
thinking.
Feedback.
With, especially with one of those spiders coming up behind me. Oh,
those spiders or the zip lines or the way like when you swing and you hit the spiders and the bugs. They could do some cool shit with the haptics. But I don't think it's not on PlayStation. Anyways, this is an Xbox exclusive on PC. But I played it with Ryan, and the game looks incredible, man. I really, really did enjoy the graphics of the game. I think the game looks stunning. It really, at some areas of the game, I was genuinely like, holy fuck, this is fucking cool. Like, it's cool. You know, ever since I was a kid and I watched that movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or whatever, you know, I think it's like every kid's imagination is like, imagine how cool it would be to be like a little person in your house. You know what I mean? Like walking around
in your backyard,
in your backyard or in the world, you know, just walking around. Like, how cool would that be? And so, with that being said, you know, it kind of like sparked that imagination side of my childhood in me, I guess. So that was kind of cool. I really enjoyed that part of it. In terms of the combat, I wasn't really impressed with the combat. It was kind of like stupid hack and slash, kind of boring melee combats. And of course, some of these bugs were wrecking me and Mayo, but Ryan was just killing them like nothing. Of course, Ryan has played the game for like hundreds of hours, I think. And so he has like a full house built in the game, like a fucking big ass shack thing. And
more like a fortress,
I went in there when I just joined him. I joined his game while he was playing with Mayo, and they were out and about doing something. So it spawned me inside his house, and I just started taking all his shit. I started taking his fucking armor. Like, he had all this armor, like all these like mannequins set up in the wall, like these cool looking mannequins, and they were all like kitted out with this armor on them. I just started putting on all the armor. I took all his weapons. He walked back and he's like, Jesus, no, Jesus, take that shit off right now. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I worked hard for that. Yeah.
I'm like, what? He's like, take it off right now, motherfucker. He's like, you're not wearing that shit. He's like, that's my favorite armor. I'm like, come on, man. So I took it off and he gave me some hobo ass looking armor, which I didn't mind.
You got red ant armor, didn't you? Yeah.
Some kind of hobo cheap shit. I got some like Walmart armor. It was like some Walmart fucking armor, you know, and he had the cool shit on the wall. And so yeah, well, I ran around with him and we were playing and it was kind of cool, man. I kind of liked the game. Mayo ended up getting stuck and he like fell down. We were like going to kill these big ass black bugs. I forget what they were called. They were like these huge beetles, but they were like horned beetles or something.
Oh yes, are those the ones that have the stink gas or whatever?
No,
like it'll kill you just from the gas.
No, Ryan wanted some fucking horn from these things, and he knew where they were at on the map. Like he's like, okay,
we were looking for those last time.
He's like, one's going to be here, one's going to be here, and here. So we're going to go here first, then we're going to go here and here. And then I was just following him like, whatever, I don't fucking care. I have nothing to lose or gain in this game. It doesn't matter to me. I'll just follow you around to see what it's like. And sure enough, I followed him around. We started killing one of them. I think he dropped a horn. And then we were going to the third one. We were climbing on top of this leaf to get across like this, like it was almost like a ravine kind of type thing. And of course, Mayo falls off and he dies at the bottom. And then Ryan goes down there to save him. And then Ryan goes down because there's like a bunch of ants attacking Ryan, right? So I go down there and save the day and I revive them both. And then we're stuck down there. And we're stuck inside like a fucking ant colony or whatever. Like somehow Mayo fell into an ant colony. And then we had to fight our way out of this fucking colony of ants. And it was hard, man. Like me and Mayo kept dying.
Yeah. It does. It can be really difficult in the beginning.
Yeah,
a lot of dying.
Well, this wasn't the beginning. This is like a late game shit, and me and Mayo don't know what we're doing, right? We're just trying to stay alive with Ryan. You know, Ryan knows what the fuck he's doing. He's the one healing us and like telling us to eat shit and like, because you got like a health meter and you got a hunger meter, and you got your health bar.
Your thirst.
And you have a stamina meter
and a thirst meter as well.
And a thirst meter. So you got a thirst meter, hunger meter, stamina bar, and a health bar. And the stamina goes down the more hits you do, the more sprinting you do, the more climbing you do, your stamina will go down, which uses up your hunger and increases your thirst, which means you need to find water to drink. And you have to find clean water to drink. You cannot drink the dirty water, because if you drink the dirty water, that'll get you sick and it'll start affecting your hunger and your health. It'll make you puke or whatever, or shit yourself or something.
That's why it's always good to carry a canteen.
Something. So anyways, I ended up doing that, and I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. Like, I'm kind of done, Ryan. Enough of this shit. It's not a game for me. I feel like if I was playing a game of my own, like say I started a match on my own and I was building my own base up and shit, maybe I would be more invested into it. I feel like because of that reason, I wasn't as invested into this game. Having joined his game that he already has all his stuff built up. I don't know what's going on, you know. Having all that, I feel like it kind of like was like whatever for me. But if I started a new game in this, I started playing it from the beginning myself, either alone or with a friend or something from the beginning. I think like I feel like I could probably get invested into the game. I could probably get into it because it seems pretty deep, man. Like the crafting it's not like simple crafting. You actually have to like cook food and kill bugs, and like certain bugs drop certain types of food. And then you can bake stuff, you can cook stuff, you can create traps, and you can create like poison, and you can create like all these different things for the spiders. There's big ass spiders. There's the wolf spider. There's like these silk spiders. There's other types of spiders, and they're all kind of like, it's kind of like daunting, man, because these bugs can be very huge compared to you. Like, I thought, I'm like the size of a person, like a little person. The bug shouldn't be that big. And it's like, no. Like, you're kind of like microscopic, man, because these fucking ants that you're fighting, they're like your size. So, like, think about it. An ant is like your size, and it's still, some of these ants are bigger than you. So, you gotta think about how small that character really is compared to, he's like probably like this big, Gunny, like, has to be like probably that big, like as a character, to be able to like see these bugs at that scale,
So the those regular ants that are like in the beginning of the game, I forgot what are they I forgot what those ants are called, but those are super easy to kill. But I think it's the army ants, the army red ants or whatever. Those are a little bit harder. Yeah, especially when you're trying to fight 2 at once, or even 3.
Yeah,
when they're all taking a piece and bite out of you.
Yeah, like I said, the hive that we were in, the colony that we were in of ants were the red ants. And so, yeah, anyways, this is not a game for me. I guess not at this point in time. If you want to check it out, say you don't know what the game is about and you kind of want to know what it is about, maybe hit up Ryan Gibson. His gamer tag is Gib8777. You can find him on the Xbox. He can play with you if you're on the PC because it's crossplay. And you guys can join together. And the game runs beautiful on my PC. It looked incredible. And it did have ultra-wide support. So it ran great on my monitor. It looked good. It ran great. So I say get in there and play with him. Kind of check it out, see what it's like. Ryan said he would be willing to start a new game with people. But I just feel like he's really invested in his game, Him and this random guy that he plays with. I don't know who he's playing with.
Yeah.
He told me it was a buddy of his.
But he does let me... I mean, I think he just... Because when he's on or whatever, I can join the game. And I'll jump in that world. Yeah.
Anyone can join him. Yeah, as long as you're...
I jump in that world. It's cool. I really like the...
But I wouldn't suggest it. I don't want like random people to just fucking start jumping into Ryan's game because... I would say just hit him up first. I don't want random people to start jumping into Ryan's game, like I said, and then start doing shit like I did where you're fucking grabbing his fucking armor and you're breaking his walls and shit, and you're starting to steal all his food and you steal all his weapons and you disorganize everything because, it seems like they put a lot of work into their house or whatever. So, I suggest you check it out. Try it. I mean, like I said, the game brings back a lot of those Honey, I Shrunk the Kid vibes, and that's pretty dope, man, because who doesn't want to be a little person in a big world, in the bug world?
Yeah, and this game's right up my alley. I really enjoy it. And I've started my own world. Sometimes I play with my world. Sometimes I'll play in that world that I say, hey, guys, anybody can join, or Ryan will join. I know Ghost Nico's jumped in there before. And, I'll say this. The last time I played with Ryan... No, was it the last time? I think we played earlier on a weekend or something, and man, I forgot who it was that was with us, where I died, so I had to go back and pick my stuff up, and I felt like I was trekking halfway across the freaking world in this thing, and, just trying to not get eaten or whatever, and to pick up my bag. I think one of the things you keep when you die, I'll say this, which is good, where I don't think you lose like your armor or, you'll keep your rocks and your sticks for just general ass crafting stuff. But I think it's just maybe other things that, were specific to that area that will drop in that bag. So, that you'll have to go back for if it's that important to you. So it's not that punishing where it's like it drops everything, you're completely, in your boxers or something. So, yeah, so man, that was just so great because I almost made it back to the base, before Ryan logged off. I was like, no, I'm going to die. And I think it was like some mosquito or something that just kept attacking me. Couldn't make it, but man, that was fun. Loved it. I don't know. There's something about it where now, even in my world, I've got like, Jesus, I literally have like 7 backpacks full of like, well, it may not be full, but it's like, but there's always that drive to try to go back for it or go a different direction or, I want to see what's over here and, see what I can get or try to complete an objective. There's like a story to it. of the scientists, right, that shrunk everybody. So, you're there to find out through these little cave systems. So lots to do, not all on top of the world, but there's little cave areas in the bottom in specific areas that you can go to. And yeah, a lot of story there, a lot of good stuff. So fun game. I need to go back to that. But yeah, I play on the Series S, the Xbox Series S on a controller. So how did it feel with, did you play mouse and keyboard on that, Jesus?
Yeah, I did. No, I did at first, and I switched over to... No, actually, I did play mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I feel like it would be easy on both. It's not like a lot of controls. Matter of fact, I would say even with mouse and keyboard, where even later game stuff would be better with, for example, if you've got different weapons, where I would say even in the menu, where how like on the whatever the weapons wheel, I'll call it, but it's not necessarily weapons. It could be food or something, or items, where it's got 3 different like wheels to it, which is cool. So you can pull up a wheel, you've got your weapons and food, different items, and you can literally scroll over to like the 2 other wheels really quick, for that section. So, that'd be
on the PC. It's not a wheel. On the PC, is like a bar on the bottom of your screen.
Oh, that's right. There is that difference. So.
Yeah. On the PC, it shows up as a bar on the bottom of your screen. You can just click on stuff, and you tab over, or you use your mouse.
Sort of like a Minecraft style type thing, right?
And you flip up and down. Yeah, you use your mouse wheel to flip up and down between the... Because I told him, I'm like, what the fuck are these empty squares? And he's like, oh, it's for like... He's like, it's for like different things you can put in there. Like you can put in different types of weapons and switch out between them, as you need them or whatever. I'm like, okay. So
yeah, the UI is top notch in this game. So
yeah, but like I said, not really the game for me. Maybe it is for you though. So go check it out. That is Grounded on the Xbox, PC, Steam, etc. So other games that I played this week. Of course, I went over and I played some more Call of Duty. I played some more Battlefield. Call of Duty now has the shipment map update since we last spoke, Gunny. The shipment map is out. That is a little tiny square map. It is really tiny. You will die about 100 times.
Those are the best ones to watch on Twitch, by the way.
Those are fucking wild. I mean, one match I ended up dying like 79 times. And that was a lot of times to die. I mean, I was like spawn die, spawn die, spawn die. It was fucking nuts, dude. It was pretty wild. But you can rank up your guns pretty fast in that map, I guess. Been playing lots of Call of Duty. Been doing a lot of the hardcore mode. Playing, trying to get my golden guns and my platinum guns. I am almost got my platinum on all my assault rifles. So that's kind of what I've been working on. I finally kind of like figured out how to do it. It was kind of confusing me. It was confusing me at first. But I have to get all the golden guns to get all the platinum, to get all the Damascus, to get all the obsidian guns or whatever. Like it takes, like you have to go through all of them, get all of them, and then go to the next one, get all of them. Anyways.
You can't just take one gun and go all the way up the line?
No. You have to go, all of them have to be gold, then all of them have to be platinum, then all of them have to be obsidian, then all of them have to be whatever the next one, onyx or whatever it is. Anyways. Played some more Call of Duty, played some more Battlefield. Now, Battlefield has received some pretty hefty updates. The last update was Manifest. It got a rework, so that means that the map actually got redone. And the map is not completely different. The base map is still there. It's still the same generic island type shipping container area. But they've added in like the different spawns for the breakpoint. Is it called breakpoint? I believe that's what it's called, the mode. There's different spawn points now, and the different spawn points are like the different areas you have to defend. They look different, and they are in different areas of the map now. And so now you have a little bit of extra, like a cushion, like more points to defend.
Oh, good.
But they're easier to defend in some areas. Like the beginning is easier to defend. The last one is still a little bit hard to defend, but it's not as hard as it used to be because they've kind of like, they got rid of some of the buildings that people used to hide in. So they made it a little bit harder for the defenders, but they made it also a little bit easier for us to defend in the beginning. So it's kind of like a trade-off, you make it easier for the defenders in the beginning, but you make it harder for them as the match progresses, which is kind of like, it would make sense, right? If you're making the enemy retreat, of course it's going to get harder for them to keep defending. So it's kind of like real life, if the enemy keeps making you retreat, your last position that you're going to retreat to is not going to be as defensible as the first position that you were at,
Right. Balancing, I like it.
Yeah, so it actually is a lot of fun. I was playing the other day. I was playing with some of the guns that they have in there, and the Advances is still a great weapon to use. I was using the whatever the sniper rifle was, the 50 cal. And dude, I was getting one-shot kills. I got like 10 kills in a matter of like 10 seconds. I was just fucking like a sniper god, dude. I was just like taking everybody out from this tower, dude. And it felt fucking amazing. I was like, holy shit. And next thing you know, I had like their fucking half of the team was shooting at me in that tower. I had a tank.
Right.
I had a fucking tank shooting at me. I had like guys trying to zip line up there. I had people like a helicopter coming around trying to take me out. They finally killed me. But it was a lot of fun being a sniper up in that tower for like the first 2 minutes of that checkpoint.
It reminds me of classic Battlefield 4. You just kind of like crawl back a little bit, wait for them to shoot a few times, and then they lose interest, and then you crawl back. Yeah.
No, those guys did not lose interest. They knew I was up there, so they all started ziplining up there, and I killed a few of them that ziplined up there, but they just kept coming, dude. They just kept fucking coming, and it gets to the point where you have to reload or something, and the guy gets up there at that exact point, and then you're fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Battlefield, great game. It still runs great. And they have some pretty cool skins in there for the holiday season. They added some pretty cool skin packs if you're into that type of stuff. Also, Call of Duty added some pretty cool skin packs if you're into that. I haven't bought any. I just keep getting their free stuff because both Call of Duty and Battlefield have been giving away like free charms and free skins for the holidays. So if you were playing during the holidays, you could have went to the store and you could have checked for the free gift items. And Call of Duty give away like little charms and shit for your guns, like to say Happy New Year's and like I think it's like one of them said like Christmas, one of them said like Happy New Year's, one of them said like New Year's Eve 23 or something like that. They're kind of cool little trinkets to put on your gun if you're playing on those days. Besides that, though, I actually went and played another game, Gunny. This is a little bit different for me. I actually went and played Kingdom Come Deliverance. Now, I went to this game because I
never played that.
It is actually a really fun game. I went to this game because I was looking for something different. And I know that I bought that game back on the Epic Store when it launched. I remember we had the community manager on our show. We interviewed him back before the game launched. And he was telling us all the inspiration that they got from the Witcher series and from the Witcher 3. That title really kind of influenced them, to make this game. And kind of they took a lot of influences and a lot of inspiration from the Witcher to make this title. It is an open world RPG. And in a sense, it is truly an open world RPG. Like this game is it's really difficult, man. Because the game starts off, you are just Henry. That's all you are. You're a guy named Henry, and you live with your parents, and you guys kind of live like outside, like this, like I would not say it's a kingdom. It's more like a stronghold. So it is a castle, but it's not like the king's castle. It's more like some duke or something,
Yeah,
like
probably
a little
duke.
Castle, right? Like, okay, think of like, if you think of Game of Thrones, right? Let me take, you guys might be more familiar with this. If you think of Game of Thrones, you don't live outside King's Landing, right? That's where the king lives. You live in something like the Eyrie or like in Winterfell or like some other fucking place, right? That's not the main king's fucking castle, right? It's like some other castle from another lord. That's where you live. So that's how the game starts out. You start off, and it's a simple game, right? You start off with like, it's like whatever century it's. I think it's set in like the 1500s in medieval times. And pretty much the game starts off in Europe. It's like in Europe, the medieval times. And you're Henry, the son of a blacksmith. And your dad wakes you up, and he's like, get up, you lazy fuck. He's like, I need you to go get some stuff from the shop or whatever in town. Go collect this debt that this guy owes me. And, like, get me some beer and get me some charcoal shit and some stuff that I need. to make this sword for this guy who's our lord who runs this castle, right? So you go get all the stuff, right? You do some shenanigans with your friends, like they're like some of your buddies you run into in town, and you like throw shit on this guy's wall because you don't like him because he's talking shit about the king. He's a German and he's talking shit about the king, like the actual king. So your buddies are kind of like, fuck that guy. We're going to go throw shit on his wall because he just got his house cleaned or whatever, like whitewashed or whatever. So his house is all clean and nice on the outside. So we're going to go grab some shit and throw it on the wall because fuck him, because he's talking shit about our king. So you go do that. And, you know, I'm running around doing, and the game is very RPG-like, right? So you got a lot of dialogue choices with literally every character you mostly talk to will give you some sort of dialogue choice. So you run into like your girlfriend. She works at the tavern when you have to go pick up the beer, and she tells you like, "Oh, I'll see you tonight" or whatever. And you're like, "Yeah, whatever. I'll see you tonight. I'm broke. I don't have money to pay you. Whatever. I'll make it up to you." And then you go and you buy the, you go collect the debt from the guy who like your father like sold him some tools or something, and he owes your father some gold for the tools that he sold him, which is like an axe and like some nails and some other shit, right? And the guy's like, fuck you, I ain't paying you shit. So I ended up trying to fight him, right? Like, I was like, I'm gonna fuck you up, dude. And I started fighting him, and he fucking whooped my ass, Gunny. He fucking whooped the game is hard. So he whooped my ass, right? So then I go back to my mom, and I'm like, hey, Mom, I got my ass kicked. And she heals you, right? Like, she just does some, like, because apparently you don't know how to bandage yourself or how to treat your own wounds, because it's not a skill your character knows yet.
You can't even swing a sword, right?
No, you can't do anything. So you have to go to your mother, and she treats your wounds, and then you're back up to full health. So when I was back up to full health, dude, I ran up to the dude, and I sucker punched him in the back of the head, and I started fighting him again. And the sucker punch, actually worked. Like, it caught the dude off guard. It kind of, like, knocked him off kilter, and I just kept swinging on him, and I beat him up, and I knocked him out, and I stole all his shit. And then I took the axe and I took the nails. I broke into his house. I took all the other shit that he owed my dad. And I went back to the shop guy. All right, now the shop guy, I was trying to like buy some shit from him, right? But I don't have no money to buy the stuff. So like maybe I'll just steal it, right? So I'm trying to steal this fucking like, I think it was like charcoal or something. It was something stupid. And the dude caught me. He's like, hey, what are you doing? You're trying to steal some charcoal from me? So he calls, like, the guard in the town. And I take off running back home. So I go back home, and the dad, you know, he's all pissed off. He's like, hey, man. He's like, I had some guards come by earlier saying they were looking for you because you smeared shit all over that German guy's house. And it's like, oh, well, fuck that guy. He was talking shit about the king or whatever. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to not defend our king? And your dad's all pissed off. He's like, yeah, you're supposed to stand up for the king, but it's not your job to fight for him or whatever, you know? You're not a soldier. You're just a fucking person, you know? Like, leave the fighting to somebody else. You know, use your fucking brain, you know? Don't be fucking stupid. Anyways, turns out, you know, all that happens. That's the intro to the story. You hang out with your friends or whatever. You go and do all this shenanigans. And then all of a sudden, during that cutscene at the end where you go and help your dad build his sword, this fucking army shows up out of nowhere, man. Like, a huge fucking army. I'm talking like a bunch of people show up, Gunny. Like, I'm talking like a massive fucking army, dude. With like at least a dozen banners flying, right? They got like all these banners. They're all flying different banners. All these horsemen on fucking, you know, and they got all these guys with spears and shields and like your castle, the people at your little stronghold, they weren't like even expecting a fight, right? They're just like, what the fuck? So everyone's freaking out and everyone's trying to run into the castle, right? And you're trying to you know, they start attacking the village and they start like ransacking everything. They're fucking burning, you know, the town down. They're killing everyone, literally killing everyone. And your father remembers that your mother was in the town because you saw her in town, and she was in town doing something like, I don't know, looking for somebody or something. But he's like, hey, I'm going to go find your mom. You get to the fucking castle and hide, and I'll meet you inside the castle. So, of course, you know, like a fucking video game, you're going to the castle, and then you're like No, I don't want to be a pussy. I want to go help my dad. So then you run back to help your dad. And spoilers, everyone. Your dad gets fucking wrecked. He gets murdered by this fucking army, right? Like this big general guy comes up and kills him. But before that, he took out like at least 6 guys. Like he's up there like, he's just a blacksmith, but you're seeing him fight and he's fighting like a fucking warrior. He's over there like fucking doing some Tom Cruise shit, right? He's over there like the last samurai just fucking killing everyone, right?
This game's 3 or 4 years old, so...
Yeah, he's up there fucking sword fighting everyone, and you're like, what the fuck? I never knew my dad could do that, right? Anyways, turns out, Gunny, that when you run back to the castle, right, because you're running back to the castle to hide from these guys that just killed your parents, well, guess what? The castle gates are going up. It's too late, Gunny. It's too fucking late. You were too slow. The gates are already going up. The moat is, and the guys are like, they're like, fuck it, man. They're like, try to make it to the next castle, which is like the next town over or whatever, and tell them that these guys are coming and warn them about what's happened here. Because we didn't have a fucking warning about what happened over there. So you have a chance to go warn these guys about what's going on, right? So you end up running, like, you have to literally run.
No horse.
Oh, no, you run like for a bit, and then you fucking steal some horse, and then they chase you on a horse for like ever. But like, I thought the game was like one of those games where like, oh, go running, and like, I thought like no one's gonna be after me, right? Like, surely if I just stop here for a second to try to take in the view, there's gonna be nobody chasing me, right? It's like a cutscene, right? Like, no one's gonna be. No, motherfucker, there was like 10 people chasing me. Like, legitimately, the game had like 10 people chasing you on foot. So you're actually being chased by a bunch of fucking people, and they're coming after you, and they will kill you if they catch up to you. So, I don't know. I tried to save some lady that was being attacked by like a bunch of dudes. And then I stole a horse. I made it to the next town. I told the guy what happened, the king or whatever, what happened. And like, I was all fucked up, right? I had like an arrow in the knee or something. I was all fucked up.
No pun intended.
And then, I don't know. Some chick in that castle was like flirting with my character. I felt like she was like all flirty and shit. Like, oh, like, I'm going to feed you. I'm going to sneak into your room at night and like talk
my parents just died. I don't want to deal with this shit.
Yeah, she's all talking to you about your feelings and shit. Like, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, I asked her, like, who the hell are you? And she was like, oh, I'm like, she's like the lady of another castle that came to visit this castle because her husband, apparently her husband that she was married to was like a lord or something, but he got arrested by his brother, who was not a lord, but his brother like overthrew him and arrested him. He stuck him in a dungeon, and then like apparently the dude was in a dungeon for like 12 years or something, and finally they were like, okay, we'll let him go because he concedes that he won't take the throne back from me, so we'll let him go. And she said that when they let him go, he was like an old, crippled fucking piece of shit. She was like, I don't want to be with him. Like, he's just an old, crippled guy now. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like 20 years old. Because she got married at like 13 or whatever the fuck, right? So she's like, I don't want to fucking be with this crippled guy who's all old and shit. Anyways, this is like some medieval time shit going on here, right? And then anyway, so the game goes on, and you're just living your life, dude. It's like you're just like in this world doing shit. Like, the lord that was at your castle in the beginning, he manages to escape with all the people that were in the castle. They escape, and he kind of like takes you under his like command almost. Like, you're not his squire, but like you're like under his like liege or whatever. Like you're part of like his crew, right? Like, you're not technically you're not his bodyguard. He's not your protector. You're not a knight. But like, he said that he's willing to have you trained, and he's willing to like take you and like vouch for you that you will learn how to fight and learn how to defend the kingdom or whatever by his name. Like, if you fuck up, it'll make him look bad, right? So, and the only reason he did that was apparently because he owed your father some favor, which you don't know what this favor is, because they're kind of vague about it. Like, oh, I owe your father a favor from like whatever from the past or something. And apparently your dad was like some badass knight or something that fucked up or something, and then he became a blacksmith, right? But no one knows what he did, and I guess you don't know what he did. Maybe eventually you find out in the story whatever your father did that made him become a blacksmith instead of being a knight or whatever he was, you know. And this guy apparently said that he owed your dad a big favor, so for that reason you're gonna be spared, and that you will actually get to like fight for him. And now I'm like in the part of the story where I'm learning how to fight. Like I'm actually being trained by like this like commander guy, of like an actual commander of like an actual like, I guess like a garrison or like a group of soldiers or whatever. Like he's an actual commander guy, you know? And he's training me how to fight. And he's training me how to ride a horse and how to shoot a bow and arrow. But like the game literally, man, like all the skills that you do, it's kind of like Skyrim almost, where the more you do something, the more... Yeah, so the more you use the one-handed weapon, the more skilled you become with one-handed weapons. The more you use a two-handed sword, the more skilled you become with it. So it's just like Skyrim or whatever. I don't know, was The Witcher like that? I'm pretty sure it probably was, right?
I don't think so. I don't remember, but I don't think it had that.
I don't think it had that skill stuff. I think you're right. But I know Skyrim does, right? And like the Fallout games do. So the more you use a certain weapon, the more you become better with it.
I think,
and of course,
yeah, because I remember in The Witcher 3, I forgot, the exact ways like you level up, but you can't have like, a level 5 sword if you're a level 3. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I played Witcher 3.
Yeah, and in this game, you can have like a weapon that's not like a weapon that you're trained with, but your character won't be able to use it as effectively. That's all it'll tell you. So like, I ended up picking up like this this weird sword. It was like a sword, but it doesn't have like any pointy. Like it's not pointy in the end. It looks like a fucking saw almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but,
that's how they were then. Yeah.
When I picked it up, it said like, hey, like this is like a certain type of like it's called like a bludgeoning sword or some shit. And it was like, this sword is for like a master swordsman. You're not even a skilled swordsman yet, like let alone a beginner.
Sounds like the 1500s.
And it's like if you don't, your character doesn't know how to use this very well. So if you get in a fight with this sword, chances are you're either going to drop it or you're not going to be able to block effectively or strike effectively with it. So, I mean, obviously, like, I guess the more you learn how to fight with swords, the better you learn how to use these different type of swords or whatever, right? So, but yeah, I look forward to playing the game more. And the game, like I said, man, you can literally do anything. Like, you can break into people's houses, you can murder anyone, you can do whatever, really. I mean, as long as you don't get caught, right? Because the game is also kind of realistic as fuck. I was walking around the town at night, and there's a stamina meter, there's a health meter, and there's like a food thing as well. You have to eat food to have energy or whatever, and stamina and all that. And your character has to sleep. If your character doesn't sleep, then you get all sleepy and groggy and shit, and your character will eventually just collapse of exhaustion or whatever. So I was walking around this town at night without like a torch or whatever, like just walking around this village without a torch. And a fucking guard stopped me and he's like, hey, he's like, what the fuck are you doing walking around with no torch? And it's like, I'm walking home. And he's like, well, you better have a fucking torch on, because if you don't have a torch on, then next time I see you, I'm going to fucking just arrest you or fine you for not having a torch on.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, okay.
And
I didn't know that. So, and then I looked around, and sure enough, all the NPCs that were walking around the village, they all had like some little lantern with them or like a torch, because apparently that was a rule back in like the 1500s. You had to walk, if you were out at night, you had to carry a torch or like some sort of lantern or like a little light or a candle or something, so the guards and the people can see you, so they didn't think you were a thief or whatever, looking about, like stealing, breaking into people's houses and
Not
shit.
That you were, yeah.
Not that I broke into a guard's house 5 minutes before that and stole all his shit. But yeah, the game is like that, and you can pickpocket people. Your pickpocketing skills can go up. There's a lock picking mechanism where you can break into houses and break into chests. But yeah, also people react to how you're dressed, Gunny. So like if you have blood on you, like say you just got into a fight, right? And you got blood all over you, people will look at you kind of funny. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like go clean yourself up. You're covered in blood.
Oh yeah, wasn't the when you had that community manager on this show, I think he was even talking about how even if you get dirty, right? Or whatever, you get mud on you or you don't clean yourself. He's like, yeah, people will react to you differently or treat you differently.
Yes, they treat you with less respect. Like, they're like, oh, you fucking dirty, filthy beggar, get away from me, because they think you're like some hobo, right? Like, look at this fucking peasant running around all dirty and shit with blood all over him. Like, a fucking hobo, get away from me. And there's a lot of refugees in this city, right? Because these are all the refugees that left the town that you were just in, the town that just got invaded by that army or whatever, right? And so yeah. So you're like in this like area of the world that's like in a war between the king and the invading army, but there's certain castles that the invading army is not attacking yet for some reason, because maybe they don't feel like they want to waste the energy to attack them, even though they probably can.
Wait for reinforcements or.
But yeah, you're just kind of chilling, right? You're just chilling in this world. You're trying to make a name for yourself, and like, yeah, apparently like. In the game, there's no like. In the end of the game, you don't become a king. You don't become like the king's hand. Nothing like that. Like at the end of the game, I think the most you can be is a knight, and that's if you get to be a knight. Like you can also finish the game without becoming a knight. So like the game it's very like. Realistic, so I'm kind of looking forward to playing more of it. It's just a decent story being told in the medieval times. You're just kind of just hanging out in the medieval world and doing medieval shit and running around that world. And the game looks great. I mean, even for like being as old as it is, yes, it is a little dated, of course, right? Because it's been like 4 or 5 years since the game came out, but it still looks pretty good. It does run well in my ultra wide. It performs pretty good. Yeah.
I like it. I like those progression systems, right? Where it's almost like you're starting from zero. You
literally are, and your character.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, your character doesn't know shit. Like in the game, it tells you like your character. Like I have bandages on me. And it's like, yeah, you have bandages, but your character doesn't know how to bandage himself. Like you don't know how to do it. So if you want to get healed, like if you have a serious injury, you have to go find somebody that knows how to bandage people that can fucking bandage you up. You know what I mean? Or else you're just going to be limping around the whole time. like you're fucked.
Yeah.
Or
bleeding out, yeah.
Yeah, or
crazy.
your character doesn't even know how to read, I don't think. So like there'll be like something on the wall and you don't know what the fuck it says because it says your character doesn't know how to read.
I feel like you could almost take this game, Jesus, and repaste it on like some brand new right out of boot camp freaking soldier guy coming into World War One or World War Two,
Yeah. 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 And it's pretty cool. Like I said, there's a lot of like cool medieval shit going on, There's some grave robbing missions where like you have to go steal this ring from a corpse. Of course, there's the corpse. In the corpse, there's like all these, like the gravedigger guy. What were those guys called? The guys that hung people? The guy that pulled the lever or the guy that chopped the people's heads off?
Was that the guy who wore the mask or something?
Yeah, the guy in the cartoon that wears the black mask or whatever, and he like chops the people's heads off.
Yeah.
That's in this game.
One. I forgot the name of it, but yeah. A hangman?
He's an executioner.
Okay, yeah. I like that word.
Yeah,
like so they wear no shirt, but they'll wear like a freaking like you said, some sort of mask on their face,
Yeah,
like a WWE star or something, yeah.
A big muscly guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, I had to go steal some shit from the executioner's house, and the fucker had like a bunch of hound dogs, protecting his house. And then, like, I was in there breaking, like, fucking lockpicks, and he heard it, and he's like, "Ugh,
Oh, shit.
what the fuck?" He walked in there, dude, and I was hiding behind the door. And he literally walked in. He's like, "What's going on in here?" And he kind of stood there, and I was like, "Oh, fuck." I was like, I failed this mission miserably. Like, this dude's going to see me right now and kill me. And, like, luckily, I hid behind the door just in the right spot where he couldn't see me, and it was dark in there. And he kind of just walked back out, and I was able to lockpick that shit and steal it and fucking run, dude. I fucking ran so fast. I was like, oh, man, I hope those dogs didn't fucking come after me or something, you know? But, yeah.
Nice.
Pretty cool game, man. Actually, it's a lot of fun. Also, last game I played, this is kind of a different game as well for me. You know, I'm a fan of, like, civilization games and stuff like that, right? Like City Skylines and stuff. So I ended up playing a game that's on Game Pass as well. It is called Humankind, which I believe is from some of the former creators of Civilization. I think they love Sid. Like it. I think they love Sid Meier's, and they made their own studio or whatever, and then they ended up forming this game. It was almost like a spiritual successor to Civilization. It's called Humankind, and the game starts off with like you're just a group of villagers of like people, you know, and you're obviously time is like going on, and you build villages and cities and towns, and it is. To me, it seems to be a little bit more difficult than Civilization. The tech trees, the way that the cities work, and the food works, and the military works. It all kind of seems a little bit more difficult, but I am kind of getting the hang of it. And like, I picked the huge world with like 10 other civilizations playing against me, right? 10 other AI civilizations. And the map that I'm in right now, the section of the map that I'm in, is fucking huge, Gunny. It's like a huge island. And only the Assyrians, they're like right next to me. They're like literally right next door to me. And right above me is the Egyptians or something like that. I believe it's the Egyptians. And those fuckers, man, they all started war. Like, first of all, they all went to war with each other, right? Like, the Assyrians declared war on the Egyptians. And I was just doing my thing, right? I'm building up, like, castle walls, and I'm building granaries, and I'm building, like, you know, food stuff for my cities, because all my cities are starving. And I founded the city of Rome, because I think I'm playing as the Romans. I founded the city of Rome, which is not my capital city, but it is my second big city. Because you can have a city, and you can have all these like little like settlements that are controlling other areas. But these settlements, you can attach them to your city. So they're off to the side, they're way further out, but they're part of that city state now, right? But it's all part of your kingdom. But it's part of that city. Like, that settlement gives their supplies and their food,
like a caravan,
and their soldiers and their people. Yeah, it gives their people to that city, right? So, of course, my capital city has a bunch of like, I think I have like 4 or 5 different regions attached to that one. But I was like, you know what? I need to start another city, because I just don't want to have an entire country with only one city, you know, and a big ass country and all these fucking things attached to one city, like my capital. That doesn't make any sense, right? Financially in the game, it won't make any sense to, like, you will not be able to make a lot of money that way. You can't grow a big military that way. So I was like, I need to build a second city. And of course, I build the Roman city, which is right next to the Egyptians, right? Right next, like, it borders right next to their country, right? And of course, the area that is bordered next to them is the capital of the Egyptian. I think it's Babylonia or something like that. The capital that they have in their country, right? It's their main city. And what does this fucking game have? This game has some feature where, like, if a big city, or say since their capital is right next to the border of that city, a lot of the people from their capital are coming into my city and they're influencing my people to start believing the shit that their country follows. So, like, all of a sudden, I'm getting all these demands from the city of Roma. They're like, hey, we know that you have, like, what's it called? Like a dictatorship where, like, everything you say goes, right? Like, you're, like, the ultimate power, right? Because I was like, fuck that. I ain't giving the people the will of the fucking power. Fuck them. I want the power, Gunny. And they're like, oh, yeah, we know that, right? We know that, hey, Gunny, you know, we know that you're the capital. You're the main guy. You're the emperor or whatever. But, like, we want to establish a republic, and we want to have, like, a governing system where we have, like, senators that vote for policies. Can we switch to that? Because the city next to us has that, and we think that's a cool idea. And I was like, the fuck you will.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, fuck
Thank
no, you're
you
not
for
gonna
asking
do that.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. So I voted. I told them, fuck no, you ain't going to do that, right? So they got kind of pissed off about it. They're like, all right, okay, we won't do it, but fuck you, man. You know, we wanted to really do that. Fuck you, you're a dick. So then all of a sudden, you know, they hit me with another demand. Like, hey, we know that the city over here, they, like, believe in, like, open religion. Like we want to have our city have open religion where we can let other religions come in and practice their religion here. And of course, I set my country up to where only my religion, or the religion of that our nation follows, is the only religion that our nation should follow. That we should not. I put a law where we should not accept other religions, but we should not force our religion upon other people, but we should only follow our religion. So we're not forcing our religion on other countries, but we cannot convert people to our religion unless they want to be part of a religion. Like, it was some weird rule that I passed, right, where we don't let other people worship their religions in my country, and if they do, then we kill them. That's the okay.
Yeah, right.
That's the rule, Gunny. But we don't force them to convert to our religion. You know, it's just you just have to be a part of it. It's just, you know, we're nice people like that.
We're all celebrating Christmas here, damn it. We're all gonna have a
What do
tree.
these motherfuckers want? They want some open religion, free fucking hippie dippy shit. And you know what I told them, sons of bitches? I was like, you know what? No, fuck no, you ain't gonna do that. No way, no. I'm not about to let some dirty people come to my country.
Smoking dope.
Of course. Smoke their fucking marijuanas in my nation. And then bring their dirty hippies over here and spread some fucking peace and love shit. All right? No, fuck that shit. Our country is made of warriors. Bad motherfuckers that are conscripted from the day they're fucking born. All right? We're not having a bunch of pussies running around our country, you know.
Man, you went straight Kim Jong-un, bro.
Listen. So what do the fucking guys in Roma do? They're like, oh, okay, we won't do it, but fuck you, Jesus. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm still the emperor, bitch. Like, fuck off. Next thing you know, they're like saying, like, hey, there's a rumor in Rome that you're no longer the emperor. It's like, what? The fuck do you mean I'm no longer the emperor, motherfucker? And it's like, yeah, the guy who governs the city of Rome, like the main guy there or whatever, like the governor, I guess he's like a governor or something. He's saying that you're no longer the king, that he's the king. And it's like, what? And then also he cut off all his servants' dicks off, and he cut off all their balls or their dicks or something like that. Like, they're all eunuchs. He made everyone in, like, the kingdom or, like, that are, like, in the city of Rome, all the people that work for him, like, all his bodyguards, all his, like, fucking advisors, everyone, he cut off all their fucking balls, all of them. Like, he cut off all their dicks or whatever. He made them all eunuchs because if they don't have sex, they think more clearly or some shit. That was his logic, right? In his head was like, if they don't have sex, they'll think more for the kingdom and for me. And I was like, what the fuck did you do? And it's like, yeah, what do you want us to do about this? Like, he just cut everybody's dicks off over there. And he's saying that he's the king. And, like, he's, like, trying to, like, stroke a rebellion against you. What do you want us to do? And I was like, fuck him. I was like, send my army over there right away. So, of course, them motherfuckers decided, like, almost declare war on me, but I was able to get my soldiers over there fast enough to, like, fight for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so
like,
now there's this civil war going on. I like this.
They were, like, loyal to me, right? But some of the soldiers did turn against me. Like, some of them did fight for him, but most of them in the end realized, like, holy fuck, you are the emperor. Like, maybe we should not turn our backs against you, you know? So they ended up joining back on my side and betrayed him and killed him. And then I took control of the city again. But man, is it hard to run? That's just 2 cities, dude. Can you imagine if I had more?
Do you think you made that city too big, or is it just part of the game where you have to make it?
I think I just gave him too much power or something, man. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe I did give him too much, Gunny. Maybe I shouldn't have given him as much as I did.
Yeah,
but
maybe you should have given him that free religion, bro. Nah, because then they would have taken more and more and more and more.
They would have wanted more. Exactly. Like, if I would have given them the Republic thing where, like, they have a Senate or whatever, they would have wanted, like, their own rules and their own laws. And, like I told you, man, in my nation, I put it to where I am the fucking law. Like, if I say something, that's the law. Like, you're not going to go above me and try to fucking vote some hippy-dippy shit or whatever, you know? Like, we're not going to do that, man. If I say something, that's what's going to go. And no, these motherfuckers want to be all, oh, man, we want free peace and love.
Kumbaya, we want to sing it every day, man.
We want to fucking fornicate with these people over here and have, you know, their children or whatever. Like, fuck that. And then the other countries declared war on me. So I go to war with the stupid Egyptians, and they fucking wreck me, dude. Like, my armies couldn't do anything against them. Like, they didn't take any of my land, right? But I also didn't take any of their land. It was kind of like a stalemate, but their armies were fucking my armies up. Like, every battle, I was losing, like, every fucking battle. I think out of all the battles, I won maybe 1. And with that, when that happens, like, the will, because there's, like, a war meter that you have on your country, and it shows how much support for the war your country has. So at first, my country was, like, 100%, let's go to war, fuck yeah. And every battle you lost, that meter drops like 10 points, 20 points, 15 points. The more units you lose, the more it drops, right? Because there's more people dying, right? And the people know that. There's more people dying. We're losing. We're getting our asses kicked. So we ended up losing, so we had to pay them like 3,000 gold because we surrendered or whatever to them, right? So now my coffers were like at negative 3,000, and I couldn't support my cities. My cities were starving. And then the fucking Assyrians declare war on me, those cocksuckers. They're right next to me as well. And I was peaceful with them, dude. I had, like, trading routes with them and shit. I had all these trading routes and, like, special treaties with them. They declare war on me, so I ended up going to war with them, and I kicked their asses, though. I won that war, Gunny. And I made them pay me.
Yeah.
I made them pay me 4,000 gold for losing the war. Yeah.
Now you're plus 1,000. I like it.
Now I'm winning again. Yeah. But yeah, the game is very deep, man. It has a lot of political systems going on. A lot of like, all right, we can have open borders. We can have like a non-aggression pact. So like, or we can have a thing where like our armies may fight a battle, but it's not going to declare a war between our countries. You know what I mean? So like, say like I run my army near their border and they decide to attack my army because it's near their border. I don't technically have, like, that won't technically declare a war on me. Like, it'll just be like a small battle at the border, but it won't declare a full-on war, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm invading their country or they're invading mine. Like, that's different, you know? Like, if they came and attacked one of my cities, then, okay, then I may have a more, like, just reason to declare a war, right? Because they actually attacked one of our cities, but if they just attacked some of our guys at the border because we're too close to their border and they were just trying to defend their border, then whatever, you know, it's like, oh, whatever, you know, shit happens. So there's a lot of cool shit going on in that game with that type of stuff, man. And I really look forward to seeing how big the world is, first of all, because that map is huge already. I want to see how big it is with the other 10 nations in the world. And I'm kind of scared to see what the other 10 nations are because I feel like my technology is not progressing very fast, Gunny. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I have a lot of tech unlocked, but not nearly enough tech unlocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
there's lots more
like,
to do, is what you're saying.
I feel like I need more cities, man, but there's no more space to expand. I needed, like...
So that's where you take over other countries, right?
That's the point. But see, my army is big, and I'm training more soldiers, Gunny. But the problem is, every time you train a new unit of soldiers, it takes population from your city down. So that means there's less people in the city working, making less gold, making less food. Your city starts to starve. If there's less people, like the more food there is in your city, the faster it grows. The faster it grows, the less food there is, but also the more gold there is. So there's like this whole balancing thing you have to figure out. Okay, like how do I balance my gold and my income and my production? What do I want to produce first? Do I want to build the city defenses first? Do I want to build a barracks? Do I want to build a granary? Do I want to build an aqueduct? Do I want to build a fucking tower for worshipping? Do I want to build a palace for myself? What do I want to do, right? So I'm trying to like build all these different things at once, but all those things are also like on a timer, right? So like, building the walls of the city takes 20 turns. Okay, so now I can risk for 20 turns tying up everybody in this area, in this city, just building these fucking walls. But, like, maybe I could build a library instead in 5 turns. You know what I mean? So it's like all these different things you have to be thinking of. What do you want to do first? Because I've unlocked sailing, but the problem is I don't have any ports, and I have to build the ports. The ports take literally 40 turns to build.
Damn.
Now, if I build a port, that'll give me the ability to build ships. But how long does a ship take to build? If I fucking take 40 turns to build a fucking port, someone can declare war on me in those 40 turns, and then I have to switch production to making soldiers and weapons and spearmen and like the Roman, like I have like a Roman legions or whatever. Like I have to build those armies up and
you know what?
All this shit.
Cut their dicks off and tell them to go fuck up.
I'm just gonna cut everybody's dicks off and fucking just follow my rules.
Yeah.
All right. And like the thing is, like some of the cities that you influence can also like, if you have enough influence over a neighboring, like a little, not a neighboring city, but like a neighboring settlement type thing that's attached to a city. If your people have enough influence over them, you can sort of convince that settlement to like convert over to your country. You know what I mean? So you can kind of like influence them enough to say, hey, become part of our nation. Fuck your nation. Your nation sucks. It's a bunch of hobos. Become part of ours and become badasses. So it's kind of cool, man. It's kind of a cool game. It's very unique. It's different from Civilization because every time you level up an era, so say you go from like classical era to medieval or whatever the fuck, right? So you go to like a new era. Every time you go to a new era, you can select a civilization you want to model your civilization off of. So it'll show like 20 different civilizations, from the Babylonians to the Mongolians to fucking Japanese feudalism to fucking to the fucking like King Charles the First and all these like different fucking people, right? It'll show like all the civilizations, the French, the English, and you can pick like which one you want to kind of model yourself after, and they'll give you certain perks, right? So like if you want to be like the Persians, these guys, they had a bunch of gold and they had a bunch of markets and they knew how to like set up cool trade routes and shit, and you can like have all that if you pick this one. But if you pick the Romans, then you can have like these badass fucking armies or whatever, you know. Or if you pick the Greeks, you can have these badass fucking Spartans and like cool fucking soldiers and shit.
Nice. Yeah, RTSs, Jesus. I have a terrible time trying to get into those, except for Civilization. That one that came out on Xbox. Remember when we were all playing it on there? Like, this game's awesome. I like it with the simplicity of it. So
that one's very simple. That one's pretty easy.
Yeah, that was fun. But other ones, I'm always like afraid to get into. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna suck at these, and even though
you are gonna suck. Like I told you, man. Like I'm getting my ass kicked at certain spots here and there. But like, dude, in this game, there's like 6 different difficulties to play. Like there's like baby mode, normal mode, normal mode, hard mode, and like super experienced expert. You're the president of America mode.
Oh, I can do normal mode. Yeah, that's baby mode for me.
Yeah.
No, but knowing me, I'm always like, oh, I downloaded. It wasn't Total War. It was one of those ones that came out on Game Pass.
Yeah.
The one that I'm trying to think if Sega made it. Ghost Nico knows, but I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna learn it, and then I was like, yeah, no, maybe not.
Some of them are really hard, and some of them, like I said, they're very deep. And the other game that I really liked that was kind of like this was it Total War? It wasn't Total War. It was Kingdom.
Yeah, that's the one that came to Game Pass. Can't think of the one that came to Game Pass. If I had to search for it really quick, yeah. No, I forgot. But yeah, I had it in there, and I was like, this one seems like something I could learn.
I know Total War's 3 Kingdoms is in there.
Yeah, 3 Kingdoms. That was the one. And then, of course, you got Warhammer 3, which I've not played.
Yeah.
Yeah, Total War, 3 Kingdoms, and then you've got your different factions in there as well. So,
yeah.
Which some of those are included in the Game Passy thing. So, but I put in the chat, Jesus. I know, something I actually played on a laptop years ago. It didn't run it very well, but I really, really wanted to play it, which I did later on PC in like 2001 or something. But that Company of Heroes 3, I think that's coming out really soon. So not on Game Pass, but just on Steam. So, and I really want to play this. I know that Company of Heroes 2, it's still like $40-$50, but some of I think they still add stuff onto this game. So I think I'm going to pick this one up. This is another one from Sega, so it's going to be good.
Nice.
Yeah. It looks really good. Just watching the trailer and some of the gameplay of it. So some of the devs have some stuff in there. So
nice. Yeah, I did play Total War 3 Kingdoms, and that game was pretty cool. That's like one that's based in like I think it's based in China or Japan, where you're part of like. You have like the samurai armies or whatever, and you're trying to like unite the fucking kingdom or whatever. I think it's China, maybe, or maybe I don't know, one of the two. It's either China or Japan. But yeah, you're fighting all these other like empires or whatever, and you're trying to take them all out and make yourself the biggest one. A lot more fighting in that one than this one. This one is more like diplomacy and shit. You have to like. I don't know, do a lot of trade routes and different things like that. Buy gold and buy silver and sell horses and buy silk and whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Besides that, Gunny, I haven't really played much else. Ready or Not, a little bit of that with Nipron again. And Ready or Not is fucking incredible, man. The player count on that game is going up quite significantly, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's one of the top 5, or it's in the top 5 or top 10 of Steam bestsellers right now because of the sale. And I feel like a lot of content, people keep putting out content for that game. Like, you always see it on TikTok, or you always see it on these reels on Instagram, on Facebook and shit. You always see like little clips of it. And people always asking, like, what game is that? What game is it? And it was always like, oh, it's Ready or Not on the PC. And that game is still on sale right now. It's $26. Pick it up. I highly recommend that game.
Yeah, I almost pulled the trigger on it, Jesus, and I thought,
do it, Gunny.
Man, I don't know why
I think you would fucking like it. You would like this game, Gunny.
Hey, I really, really enjoyed, you remember, I really enjoyed Rainbow Six Siege. I really enjoyed that. I played that for at least a year.
Dude.
So, before everybody got really good, and everybody's coming from the fucking ranked matches back over to regular. I was like, fuck you guys. But no, this one seems like something more I can get into.
Right now, it's $30 on sale.
Yeah.
And you could probably find it on CD keys or whatever for like even cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of that, Jesus, I ended up buying Sonic Frontiers. I forgot to tell you. Oh, yeah, because I said, I'm going to pick that up. So, ended up buying, me and Ryan.
How's that?
It's good. It's, you know, and the only other, like, Sonic games, I think me and Ryan didn't buy the last one, but we bought the one before that, which was more of a classic, you know, with a new fresh coat of paint. I don't remember what that one was even called, but I got stuck on that one. I was like, okay, I guess I'm done, you know, moving on to the next game. But this one's more, do you remember Sonic Generations back on the 360? That was a fun game. I really enjoyed that. I think I still have the disc. But you know, it's that third person behind the back view, but this one's more, you know, it's open world. So it's like, you know, it starts out and you're like in this grassy lands area. And I think I even made a joke in our little chat. I was like, hey, it looks like an Elden Ring thing, you know? You're in this, you know, mountainous, grassy area with, you know, surrounded by, you know, you're like by the ocean. So I'm like, hey, I recognize this area. But yeah, so far it's pretty cool where it's, yeah, I don't know. I'm just having a lot of fun just going through it. I feel like the controls are pretty easy, and it's always like where, like, you'll have these, like some of the coins, you know, the freaking rings that are up there. You're like, how do I get to that? Like, oh, okay, there's like maybe you know, those bumpers or whatever that'll get you up there. Sometimes they're hidden, where you're like, oh, okay, I see. I have to break a box to unlock that, you know, so it's not hidden anymore. And so far, one of the things I really thought this game was going to be was where, because you enter this world, right? You're like, it's like, oh, here's this shrine, and you've got enough, you know, whatever frickin' items on you to unlock this thing. And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So basically it takes you in almost like, I don't want to say a classic level, but it is like an arcade level, right? So how fast can you get through it? How many hearts can you get? You know, can you get all 5 of those? What's the timing, you know, for the total run? And man, that was a lot of fun. I think I've done like 2 of those so far. So, and again, they're all in that like third person view style type. So I'm like, okay, I guess maybe I'll just randomly hit them, which is cool, you know? But in the meantime, you're just kind of going around this world, and you're talking to, I forgot even who your friend is, but there's another character in there that's kind of evil, right? That's working for what's the bad guy's name? He's a doctor, whatever the fuck his name is. But yeah, he's kind of keeping track of you.
Dr. Robotnik?
Robotnik, yeah. So, you know, he's not in there. I think you've seen like his ship or something, but you know, he's keeping tabs on you and what you're up to. So, but I'll say this, so far I've made it to like this giant boss or whatever, which is only like a couple hours into the game, where and even like the giant's name is Giganto or something, right? So it's cool. I had to go to YouTube for the first time and like, how the fuck do I even beat this boss? Because I'll just go up there and just start, you know, mashing on the boss, right? And somebody had even put on there, I think they were saying like, oh, it's got like a Pokemon feel to it. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. It's definitely like a Pokemon thing. And another PlayStation exclusive game that I can't think of the name of right now. Basically where you're climbing the giant, you know, like, you know, you got to climb all the way to the top of its head to, you know, kind of activate the next phase of the fight or whatever. So that is a cool boss fight. So I probably failed it like 6-7 times. I'm like, all right, got to go to YouTube. Like, what the hell? I'm hitting all the timers, you know, and, you know, I'm able to block when it says to, but, you know, I just wasn't doing it right. But that was a lot of fun. So, and it was cool because it was like the first time where this song, usually it plays that sad Japanese music, which is fine, you know, when you're in that open world, and, you know, you get your sound of your, you know, collecting all your rings and shit. But I know this song. It's Undefeatable. I think that's the name of the song. So I don't know if this is a Sega song or from a previous game or but it was in the soundtrack that I got, because I got like the only one that was on sale, which was nice, was the upgraded edition, not like the deluxe or whatever, but it came with like some concept art, digital art, and then like the soundtrack to it, which is nice. So yeah, I've listened to the whole thing, so pretty damn cool. So
You actually listen to soundtracks?
I listened to that soundtrack because I paid for it. I was like, I'm gonna be playing this. Played that a couple times. So pretty good Sonic music, man. So.
The only soundtrack that I really, really like, that I actually listen to every once in a while still, is the Death Stranding soundtrack. I fucking love that soundtrack.
Yeah. I know that PC Gamer on Twitter, they're always like, you want to hear a good soundtrack? This one's been voted high on this one. So.
Yeah, the Death Stranding one is really good.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll put, if you ever go to Spotify.
They're in there, yeah.
Yeah, it's on there. There's a couple other ones that I've listened to. And
one thing about Spotify I didn't notice till this week was that Spotify actually has audiobooks, and I didn't know that till this week.
I did not know that. And I'm an audio freak, audiobook whore, you know?
There's a whole section in there that you can go in, and they have a bunch of audiobooks, like actual fucking audiobooks that you can just listen to as part of your Spotify subscription. They're just in there. It's wild to me. I mean,
they got all the podcasts on there. So any podcast.
There's a lot of them. There's like hundreds of audio.
Really? Because I do the $10 a month. I got to check that out. Maybe because now, are you on the phone? Because it makes maybe a little different. Okay. Because that's the only thing I've noticed on is mobile, where you could actually give stars to HGP is on mobile. So via the podcast section. So where you can't do it on PC. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I love any space dramas. Jesus, I'm all about it. Space wars.
I mean, look at this. Look, the fucking it's the camera. See, the list goes on and on. It's just all these are fucking audiobooks, dude.
Nice. As part of our subscription. Hell yeah. I like that.
There's a lot of kid ones, there's adult ones, of course, but there's a lot of children's audiobooks on here as well. It's surprising to me. Like, I was like, what the fuck? There's a lot of audiobooks on here. Because it's really weird.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say about you, I was going to mention also on there. So, if you go to Spotify, I was talking about soundtracks, right? So they might have this playlist. It's kind of stupid. There's this one playlist in there where it pops up every time, gaming tracks or something. And it's like, it seems like, okay, it's not exactly what you might think, right? Where you're gonna hear like these digital sounds or whatever. Where I'm like, where the fuck are these songs even from? You know, like I've never heard of these in video games. So you have to actually specifically go in and listen to a soundtrack. So that's the one thing where I'm like, no, this is wrong. You got it wrong, Spotify. So, but yeah, Sonic's good, man. It's fun. I've gotten the controls down. I recommend it. I think it was on sale for like $41. Still might be. Sale might be over, but that was on all platforms. It was on sale. But I still haven't finished High on Life, Jesus. Well, I'll say this, that family is here in the next room. They're in from the Fiji Islands, mate. They're coming from Australia. So they've been here almost a week and a half now. So it's been a lot of family time and away this weekend, so it's been a lot of mobile gaming, put it that way. So, I got a good one for you, Jesus. So we went to this house out in Sacramento, and so there's this wife's niece. All right, she has two daughters. So the one daughter, I know she had the Switch. She brought it out last time I saw her back this summer. So then she comes out. I don't know. She's young, whatever. She's like 10 years old or some shit, right? So. And she's got like her phone and watching some kid show or something, right? And, I'm sitting there, not quite playing a mobile game yet, because, the wife's spending time with her niece and stuff. And so, in the family, and I'm just like, so, you still got that Switch? Yep, was her only response as she just continued to watch, like it was funny, because it was like, yeah, like, it's in the other room, I'm kind of using it. I'm like, damn, I wish I had a frickin' Switch, you know, or a Steam Deck at this point, you know. So, like, but you figure I'm still subscribed to that Apple Arcade, so it's been fun. You know, I'll say that. Not the greatest gaming experience, but you know, it's super hard to play like I almost want to call it Dead Cells again, but yes, Dead Cells is right. So it's hard to play it with your thumbs, where it is a lot easier with a controller. So it's essentially the same game.
Speaking of mobile games, the game that I play a lot on my phone, that I play like almost every day, is Marble Snap.
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah,
Marble Snap is really fun, man. I'm pretty good at that game. I feel like I have a pretty good deck, and I like the cards. I like that game. Is just fun. It's just like a really quick, easy game to get into. It's very easy to pick up and learn. There is a strategy to it that you can eventually learn. Like okay, if I play this card, then this will happen and that'll happen, and I could do this and this and that. And it sometimes it works out to my favor. There's been a couple of times where like I use the Storm card to lock an area down, and then the guy will end up playing like I think his name is Cosmonaut, not Cosmonaut. Maybe his name is Astronaut. I don't know. It's like he looks like an astronaut. And his thing is called Infininaut. And he looks like an astronaut or whatever. It's like a character that looks like an astronaut, the card.
It's Buzz Lightyear.
That fucker has like 25 points or something. But you can only play him. He costs 6 points to play. But you can only play him if you don't play a card the previous turn. So you can have him on your deck and he'll show up anytime. But you cannot play him if like, say you play a card this turn, the next turn you can't play him.
So you have to go a full turn without using any cards?
Without playing any cards
no
to
cards.
Be able to play him.
I haven't made it that far.
But he can give you 25 attack points. So he'll give you 25 points. So if you put him down in an area, that's 25 points that, you know.
Yeah.
Most of the times, that'll help you win an area, you know. If you have more than 15 points or 20 points, you'll probably win an area. And there's been a few times where people have played him. And I thought about using him, so I ended up switching out America Chavez, America Chavez is also 6 points, but she has 9 attack points that she puts down in an area. She can be used. The thing about her card is she only comes up on turn 6. So she's on your deck and she hasn't been destroyed by Yoku or whatever. Because Yoku, he can destroy a random card in your deck. If somebody plays him, he costs 1 point to play, and he has only 1 attack point. But he destroys a random card on your deck. So sometimes if the enemy plays that card, they'll destroy America Chavez, you know, because it's just a random card picked out of your deck.
Oh, right.
But if you still have her at the end, she'll come up in turn 6, and she'll put down 9 attack points. So I end up using her more now than Infininaut, because Infininaut, the downside to him, like you said, is having to go a full turn without putting any cards down, and that just kind of could fuck you over. You know what I mean? Like a whole turn with no cards down. If your strategy is not going to work, then you're fucked.
That's like 16 points or 0. Or more.
Like that. Yeah, like that point. Yeah, like the game is really fun though. I really like Marble Snap, and the new season just came out. So season happens every 4 weeks. So every month is a season. Season whatever just came out. I don't like the cards for this season, so I will not buy the season pass. It is $10. Because the new cards, they just don't interest me. It's like this season is called the season of the Savage Planet or something like that, and they have like all these like savage cards or whatever. So like one of them is like he looks like a jaguar or like a panther or something. And I don't want that card. It looks stupid. The abilities look stupid. Like, it's like, oh, if you play this card, it does whatever. I'm like, I don't want that shit. And then the other one is like this other guy, and he's kind of a cool card. I've seen people use him a lot. And if you play him, I forget what the character's called, but I know if you play him, he'll he'll give like all the cards that cost 1 point in your like that you've played on your side of the deck or your side of the board or whatever. All the cards that cost 1 point, he'll give them plus 1 attack. So automatically they all gain 1 attack point. So if you have a bunch of 1 cards down, those all automatically gain 1 attack point, and that could kind of sometimes put you over the edge, right? Just enough to be able to beat someone. So I've seen people use him a lot, but I feel like my deck is pretty balanced, and my deck is pretty good. I have Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, I have Storm, America Chavez, who else do I have on my deck? I have...
You got the Hulk?
I do not have the Hulk. I don't like him.
No, I like him.
No. I like him. He's 12 points, but at the same time, America Chavez comes through for me like every time on turn 6, because that's when you can really play the Hulk also. It's only really on turn 6, you know, unless you get like a board that says, oh, you get extra like of those spending points or whatever per like turn or whatever, then you can't really play them.
What about Iron Man?
I don't have Iron Man. I used to have him at the beginning. I ended up switching him out for Storm.
Yeah, I think I did too. Doesn't it make you do that or something? I don't remember, but...
No, it doesn't. Storm is pretty cool because Storm locks out an area, so she'll flood an area, and it'll say this next turn is the last turn that people can play cards in this area.
Yeah.
So that can come in real handy, right? Because you can lock down a whole area and then, like, fuck the other guy over by, like, either forcing him to play all his next cards in that area, or because sometimes the people will do that, right? They'll freak out and they'll just play all their next turn on that one area, and then you're like, oh, whatever. Like, I wasn't really planning to win that area. I just wanted you to waste all your points in that area. Now
Right.
I'm going to attack the other 2 areas, right? So yeah, it kind of works out for me sometimes. So I really like Storm, and there's a few other characters that I like. Medusa's pretty cool. I have her like Infinity card or whatever. Then I have I forget that one guy's name, but he can't be destroyed or like moved or anything. Like nothing can take him out. I forget his name, but I have his Infinity card as well. And Mr. Incredible is pretty cool too, because he can put 2 attack points to the either side of him.
Yep.
Like he like puts the 2 extra attack points on. That's pretty helpful. That game is really fun, man. I suggest you guys play Marble Snap. It's a free game. I've literally spent nothing on it. I've not
bought like any.
I've not spent a penny on it, dude. And I've got like all these fucking cards and boosters and points and etc. So it's actually really freaking well done for a fucking free-to-play game, dude. It's actually a lot of fun and really well done. And I don't feel like it's pay to win at all. Because the cards, when you upgrade them, you don't get more attack points for them. You just simply get like a different cosmetic for the card, right? Like it looks a little bit different.
Common,
That's it.
yeah.
But like, as far as the attack points, it doesn't really matter. Like, you know what I mean? It's all that shit is like just it all stays the same. And the only thing that changes is the cosmetics of the cards.
Correct.
Which you know, of course, you want cooler looking cards, right? Of course, yeah. Some of the cards are kind of cool. You know, like all the cards have different variants. They have like the black and white variants. They have the baby variants. They have like the chibi variants or whatever. They have different art styles from different artists that make the characters or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Don't they make... And then there's like... Yeah, there's hologram versions of them. And,
there's hologram versions. There's all kinds of cool versions of them. And like I said, there's the Infinity version of them, which is the ultimate. That's the last version you can get. So when you unlock the Infinity one, you can actually upgrade that one, and that one will create a duplicate card of it. But the new duplicate card will have like a different background. The background will be like a rainbow color, like a hologram color, like a super rare red. It's like all red and holographic. Like that's the ultimate card. That's like the last ultimate upgrade you can get is that one card. And to do that card, you have to upgrade that card fully 4 different times. So like, it's kind of hard to get them, but I'm working on it. I got 2 cards to Infinity. I think I can get those ultimate cards. But yeah, play Marble Snap, people. Speaking of phones, I got a new phone this week.
It's a good grind, for sure. Fun.
Yeah, a new phone this week, Gunny. I got an upgraded phone.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did. Remember, I did. Did I talk about my upgrade? I can't remember, but talk about yours.
Yeah, well, I ended up this week on New Year's Eve. I ended up going to I went to T-Mobile and I wanted to see what they would give me for my phone as a trade-in or whatever, right? And T-Mobile, you know, for an iPhone 12, they actually offered me a pretty decent price because I had the 128 gig model, which is like I don't think that's the base model. I think the base model was 64, but I had the 128 gig.
Yeah, base is 64.
And I went to them. They wanted to give me $800 for it. And I was like, okay, not bad. And they told me the price of like the plans or whatever, which is like $80 a month and shit. And so yeah, I didn't do it. The only reason I didn't do it is because they wanted a deposit for the fucking phone that I was gonna buy. And it wasn't a cheap deposit either, Gunny. They wanted a lot of money for those fucking phones, man. And I was like, nah, I don't want to pay a deposit right now. You know what I mean? Like, fuck this.
Well, what they do, and I don't know if it works differently up in Oregon, but one of the things I noticed that changes is that, because it's, I don't know, were you trying to like purchase the phone? It's not like on a plan deal or something? Because I always
it was on a plan deal.
The one thing they want is the taxes right away or something, like the full tax on it. I think that's changed. Because I did that back in, early December, where it's like, oh, you got to pay all the sales tax and all this crap right away, you know?
Yeah. Anyways, so they wanted a deposit for the phone or whatever, and I was like, I'm not going to do this. So I ended up going to AT&T instead, and AT&T ended up... They ended up offering me $1,000 for my phone, so $200 more than T-Mobile, and there was no deposit. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go with you guys." On top of that, I got a bunch of discounts and shit for being a union member and all that or whatever through AT&T. But yeah, ended up getting the iPhone 13 Pro or whatever.
It's the 14, right?
Or whatever, yeah, the 14 Pro.
Because you got the Pro, I got the non-Pro version.
Yeah, so I got the Pro version. The Pro version is just, it's not the Pro Max. That's the big one. I don't like the big one because it's too big for my fucking hand. Like, I feel like I can't reach the whole screen with my thumb, you know? And I hate that when I'm trying to, like, text people or whatever. Like, it's fucking hard to use a phone with one hand and then you're trying to reach the full screen in a big ass phone. It's just uncomfortable for me. And I've noticed I noticed that back on the iPhone 8 when they had those big ones. So yeah, I ended up getting the 14 Pro, and yeah, man, AT&T was pretty solid. They gave me a pretty good deal for it, and like no activation fees and shit. And
nice. How's the service so far?
It's great, actually. It's faster than what I had because I had Xfinity Mobile, and Xfinity runs on they run on the Verizon network, which is a fast network around here. It's one of the best ones, actually. But the problem with that service was that they would throttle my service after 20 gigs. So if I used 20 gigs of data in a month, they would end up slowing it down, and it would slow down to like almost like it was like impossible to use. Like you could still use it, but it was really slow.
Yeah. I think T-Mobile's 20 gigs or something like that.
And AT&T has it to where it's unlimited. Like, no matter how much you use, you could just keep streaming unlimited shit on your phone. I think T-Mobile said that theirs was like that too. They had two different plans that they offered me, and one of them was like 100 gigs. You can go up to 100 gigs of data, which is a fucking shitload.
That's a lot, yeah.
Or you can go unlimited for them as well. But yeah, I know that Xfinity didn't have that. Xfinity had they had the 20 gig one, which is the one that I had. They also had something that I could upgrade to, which was the 50 gig one. And they also had like a 150 gig one. But at that point, you were paying the same prices that you would pay at Verizon. So I was like, what's the point of me using your service when I could just go to Verizon and pay for the same shit there and just have Verizon? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The problem with having like Xfinity, which is not a bad service at all, but it's like one of those services that like, if you're in an area that has a lot of the people using that service, right, and say there's a Verizon person and then there's you, the Verizon person gets the priority on the data and the tower before you. I don't know if you knew this, Gunny, right? But like they get priority service because they're actually part of the Verizon network.
Right. Yep.
You don't get priority service. You get like second rate priority because you're not part of their network. You know what I mean? Yes, you're using their network, but you get like a second priority to the first guy on Verizon. And I was like, I don't want to deal with that. And I looked at Verizon, and Verizon is expensive as shit, dude. I don't know how people afford Verizon, man. Like, those family plans are fucking ridiculous. I was looking at that shit, I'm like, God damn, this is expensive, dude. Like,
never been with the Verizon. Yeah, I've always been
one
with
line,
AT&T or T-Mobile.
Yeah, one line for, like, unlimited data was, like, $115 a month or something. I was like, how the fuck is that even, like, a thing, dude? Like with AT&T, I think I'm paying, like, $70 a month, maybe, with my discounts. Without them, it would be like 90 or something like that. But still, like, fucking $100 for like service. It's insane to me. You know what I mean? And that's not even counting the price of the phone on top of that. Because, you know, sometimes you're paying off the phone or whatever too. You know, so think you add like another $20, $30 payment on top of that. You're paying $140 or whatever for cell phone service for one line. It's crazy to me. So yeah. Anyways, I just did it because I wanted to switch from Xfinity, and I've had AT&T in the past, so I know their service is pretty good around here.
Yeah,
so
especially where I live in the town above me. Remember, I've always complained about that on the show, and even to them, I'm like, you guys suck up there in, you know, Roanoke Park, California. They got a freaking office, you know, like an actual T-Mobile there. I'm like, I always say, like, yeah, the T-Mobile up there where that doesn't have any service, right? The store, I'm like, seriously? You guys should be embarrassed. But, I mean, I mean, you can make phone calls, but it's just the data that's not there, you know? Especially if what if you're walking around, Jesus? You're walking around, just say the Target parking lot, okay? It's got Burlington Coat Factory, you're trying to watch your, you know, your Twitch or your YouTube videos, and it's not loading. Because one thing I've even noticed where, yes, now I have the 14. I don't have the Pro, but I do have the Max, right? So I need the bigger one because I'm old and my eyeballs can't see it.
The Plus or whatever?
Yeah.
They have the Plus, right? Yeah.
Is it the Plus? Yeah, it's the Plus one. But, so, it's good. It's, you know, it's faster, more responsive. It's got 5G. So, but okay, you've got to actually have bars for it to work.
Yeah.
So even like right now, I could take this phone, right? I already know, like, yeah, I'm inside an apartment, right? Just there's no story above me, but it's just 2 bars, right? And it doesn't even display it anymore on there, but basically what it is, it's just using like an LTE without telling you, which is fine. I had to do it the last time on I think I had the 11 Pro. But about that, Jesus, I will say, so you have the Pro version, so that's cool. My 11 Pro, yeah, it was the 11. I gotta say, you will really enjoy that camera because, you know, you'll take a shot and it looks really good. Those things are up to 4K and they look pretty, especially even transfer them over to your PC or whatever, right? You know, sync it to the cloud or whatever. You'd be like, yeah, that's a great looking photo. You can't even put those on Discord, by the way. It's like, hey, that picture's too high a quality, my friend.
Yeah, they got 48 megapixel cameras on these fucking things. That's insane, dude. 48 megapixels. That's fucking nuts. But
see, I'd put them on Twitter. Remember, I used to get in trouble using my real name. That's a pretty photo there. You got you know, Kane Marston. Now I'm like, yeah, now you can put it on the news. You know, not with my real name, please. Get in trouble.
But yeah, I'm excited. You know, to have the new phone, and it's a pretty nice phone. One thing that I'm not used to is the always on display, which apparently the pros have it on the 14, where like the screen is always on, but it kind of like dims out, and it only shows like right now it only shows like the it's hard to see with that.
Yeah, I got a light.
But it only shows like the date and time and like the weather and shit, you know, but it kind of dims the background, but it's still all on. And that's kind of like, it's almost like the watch, like the Apple Watch, right? Where like your screen is always on, and then it kind of dims out if you're not looking at it. But when you pick it up and look at it, it's on. Yeah. See, the Plus doesn't have that feature or whatever.
Yeah, unless unless I actually hit a button, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like the little. I don't know if you've been using it a lot, but that little pill box thing on the top, like the notch thing or whatever, where the cameras are on the top, the little like pill box looking thing. That thing is pretty cool, man. Because like, if you're using the GPS, like the little navigation thing pops up right there. Like text messages will scroll across there sometimes. Like, say you're like watching a video and somebody texts you. Like sometimes the shit will scroll across that or whatever. It's kind of cool looking. Or like when you're playing music and you back out of Spotify or whatever, it'll show like the music and the little album cover, like right there on the top.
Yeah.
Kind of show you what's playing or whatever and how much time is left on the song. It's some pretty cool, like neat little feature that I thought was kind of like a gimmick because I didn't really look into it until I got the fucking phone and I was like, this is pretty fucking cool. This is some pretty cool shit you made here, Apple. But obviously, I mean, it feels like an iPhone. There's like no other like real difference, right? I mean, the cameras are better, the speed is faster, but at the end of the day, Gunny, it's a fucking iPhone.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Because I mean, I feel like I went from that. I want to say I had the 11. Did they make it 12? I thought it was the 11. I don't know. Maybe I
had the 12.
Maybe I had it. I went from a 12 to a 14 because I skipped a couple generations. And yeah, it just feels like the same thing without that super high quality 4K, pictures, right? So, and of course, I think I still stuck with the 128 on that.
I went 256. So yeah,
I could put a lot of pictures. That's the cool thing about, man, especially if you now correct me if I'm wrong on, is it YouTube, right? Google's YouTube. Do they still, I don't know if you have to be a subscriber to still let you download videos, or can you just do it? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I think you
could just do it.
I think what it does, I think you have to have the subscription to play it back or something, or I don't know. I can't remember. So, because I remember I filled it up pretty good. I might have had a subscription before, so because that video audio is going to take a lot of space. So,
but one of the cool things about the iPhone with, like, say you have the 128 gig, it's just you could just buy the extra whatever 50 gigs or the extra 1 terabyte for like $1 a month or $3 a month.
99 cents a month, by the way, which is awesome. That's what I do.
Or like, I think the next one is like $4 a month or $5 a month, and it gives you like a terabyte.
And you can get, so there is a family plan on there too.
Yeah.
That you can get. So I think that's, it was like 4 or 5 freaking terabytes or something like that.
So it's pretty good. I mean, I don't mind it. I actually, like I said, I look forward to seeing how it works. The weird thing is though, like, they just took my old phone, right? And they didn't give me nothing at the store. They just gave me the fucking new phone.
It's a digital thing now.
And everything's like on an email. There was like no paperwork. I literally didn't sign nothing. I think I signed something on an iPad maybe. And they're like, okay, did you like back up your phone? I'm like, yeah. They're like, did you transfer everything? I'm like, yeah. They're like, do you want to keep your phone for a couple of days and like to transfer stuff? I'm like, well, no, everything's already transferred. Like, what do I need? And all my passwords are on TrueKey or whatever. So like, I don't need my phone. They're like, do you need it for like any verification or any like 2-step authentication?
Yeah, that's the one thing I would recommend. Where
I'm like,
I had my Steam Guard, and it wasn't difficult, but I was able to basically get a new, code or whatever to authenticate the phone.
Because I kept the same phone number, so I was like, they should be able to just text me a code to my phone, and I'll be able to get into it.
I think I think you still have to go on to the Steam thing or go to the website, log into Steam. Yeah, it was kind of a pain in the butt. It would have been easier if you had that phone in front of you.
It would have been easier to log into my Google account. My Gmail account would not let me log into it. They were like, to log into your Gmail, go to YouTube app and launch a video. And I'm like, what?
No, they usually say, well, if you open YouTube is what it is.
Yeah, they're like, go to the YouTube and you'll be able to like click on something that pops up.
That's it.
On your, They're like, go to YouTube on your iPhone and click on this, and it'll. I was like, I don't have the YouTube. And then I went to YouTube to try to sign into the Google, and it was like, okay. They're like, go to the YouTube on your iPhone and tap on this icon, and you'll be able to get. I'm like, I don't have my iPhone. What do I do? And they're like, okay. They're like, okay. You fucked up. You don't have your iPhone.
Yeah.
They're like, go to your Wi-Fi, like your house Wi-Fi, and we'll know it's your house Wi-Fi. And if you go on that, then you should be good. So I ended up coming to my house, which is like, the AT&T store is like a minute away. It's like right here next to my house. But I came home, and I was able to log into Google that way through my fucking Wi-Fi, out of all things.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
They want to make sure it's you, I guess.
They're like, we recognize your house Wi-Fi. It is you. Okay, never mind. Like, you're good. You can log in now. It's like,
I wonder if it's like a PayPal thing where it's like, trust this device, when you're on your
trust this
PC.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Probably just know.
But
well, they probably, you know what? I think their main thing, I'm going to guess and assume here, make sure it's like some American thing, right? It's an American IP or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
You're not in Russia trying to log in.
But yeah, like I said, they just took my old phone and like, they didn't give me nothing. They didn't say like, here's a piece of paper saying you gave us your old phone. Like, nothing, dude.
Yeah.
So I ended up actually calling. I called AT&T. No, I went to the chat, and I'm like, yo, man, like, when the fuck am I going to see the credit for my old phone be applied to the bill? You know what I mean? Like how does this work? Because the guy at the store just took my fucking phone. And they're like, oh, no worries. They're like, in like about 3 billing cycles. So like, you're going to pay the full bill for 3 bills. And then we'll retroactively apply the phone trade-in to your entire thing. You know what I mean? So if you paid previously and the phone was supposed to be whatever, we'll go back and we'll lower your bill based on how much you paid in the past 3 months or whatever. And because I think the guy ended up saying that once I traded in my phone and I got the iPhone 14 Pro, the 256, he was like, your monthly payment for like the 36 months or whatever, the 24 months or whatever the fuck it is, he was like, it's going to be like $3 a month for the phone, right? Instead of like the $45 or whatever.
Yeah.
So he was like, it's going to be like $3 because of the trade-in. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I was like, how does this... Like, he didn't tell me nothing. He didn't, like I said, they didn't give me no fucking paperwork.
Yeah.
No contract.
Well, I assume
nothing.
the only thing you probably got was at least like a receipt when you slid that card.
Nothing.
Whoa, shit. So you should have at least got that.
Well, no, because they didn't charge me anything.
Oh,
they just
okay.
gave me a fucking phone. They didn't charge me an activation fee or nothing. Like,
nice. Well, I mean, it's good and
gave
bad,
me a fucking phone. Yeah, it was weird, man. So I got all these emails. I log into my Google mail, and like I got like fucking 10 emails from AT&T saying like, welcome to AT&T. Here's this, and oh yeah, by the way, you have this and that and this. I'm like, okay, like what the fuck? I don't know how any of that works anymore, man. It's the future sucks. No receipts.
Yeah.
I want to kill trees.
The only you made me think of that, Jesus. You started talking about that where I only get, and it reminded me of an old cell phone, not super old, but within the last 10 years. You ever get those receipts where, if you remember, where it's kind of a long, like not a scroll, but it's longer than a regular ass piece of paper. Well, the only place I ever get that is when I go to the Chevron oil stop, which is like a franchise of oil changing. But like they just list everything down. It's like twice the size of a regular piece of paper.
Like a CVS receipt.
Yeah, but obviously wider, like by 8 by 11. But it's more not the 11 part. It's fucking longer. But it's like, yeah, like we did this and we did that and we offered you coffee and we cleaned your windows and this is how much you owe and the taxes and disposal fee and like the list goes on. And then on top of that, when you slide the card, obviously. Right, you get the tiny little fucking receipt like you'd get anywhere else attached to it. It's like, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird every time. But no, I guess it's good for records, right? Insurance or whatever, or you go to sell the car,
whatever, man. And then like the insurance, I didn't know like 2 days ago, I had insurance on the phone, right? Because I asked them, do I have insurance on the phone? They're like, yes. But then I noticed on there, they said, your insurance expires January 2nd or 3rd. And I was like, what the fuck? And like today, I woke up and I was like, you know what? I need to check if the insurance is on this fucking thing because I want insurance on my phone in case I break it, right?
You always get it, yep.
And like, it said on there that I didn't have it. So I'm like, how the fuck would they put it on for 3 days and then it just automatically came off? I was like, how the fuck did that happen? Because originally I had insurance on my watch as well because I transferred my watch over to them as well. And I took the insurance off of the watch, but I don't know if that automatically took the insurance off of the phone too. But it didn't look like it did. But then all of a sudden, 3 days later, it was gone. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that, make sure it stays on there because the insurance is a thing that I don't know if people know this or not. But most phone companies will not let you put insurance on a phone after 30 days. So when you buy a phone from a company like T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, or whatever, like all the big ones, even like Xfinity, all of them won't let you put insurance on the phone after 30 days. So like,
correct.
If you want insurance, make sure you get it within the first 30 days of you buying that fucking phone.
It's only like what, $3 or $4 a month, and it's always a great deal because
no, it's like $17 a month for me.
Is it? So yeah, this was back then when we had AT&T. Jesus, all I gotta say, like, I gotta give them praise because the wife lost her phone, and then the man, we're going back like 7 years ago. She didn't really lose it. It was probably stuck in the couch or something stupid, right? So she called him up. Might have been at like 11 in the morning or something. Yeah, I lost my phone. I don't know where it's at. And then they were like, yeah, okay. Oh, you got insurance. We'll send you a replacement or whatever. And I mean, they will send you that shit, like the SIM cards on the top of it or whatever. So basically you can just, and man, that thing was, I would say less than 24 hours. Boom. FedEx was knocking on the door. Boom.
It's next day delivery for like, if you lose your phone or whatever.
Yeah, it was so quick. And then she took it. And I think, okay, well, I guess we'll go down to AT&T and we'll get it activated, right? They'll put the card in it. Because now everything's like, what, a digital fucking SIM card? But
yeah.
I don't know if it's an Apple thing or whatever. But yeah, so then she's like, oh, no, I'm silly. I forgot it underneath the car seat. Haha, but hey, it was easy. Like it had a return receipt. We returned it. Boom, zero charge all the way around. It was like, sweet. I'm so glad we had insurance. But I always go with, I don't care if you've got Android or iPhone or whatever. I always go with the OtterBox. So, and I try to go with those ones that are more of that. If you can see it, Jesus, this is a different style, but it's got that rubbery feel. So, especially when you got a Pro phone, it's more,
the
slippery fingers.
The funny thing. That's one thing that I do not do is I never buy a case for my phone.
Really? What do you? So
never.
So do you just buy one at the mall? One of those like freaking
nothing
Cowboys one labeled? No. How do you not drop it, dude? I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, I drop my phone. Just if it breaks, it breaks.
Okay, what about a screen protector? Do you put that on there? Wow.
Nope.
Damn, bro. Yeah.
I don't use no protection for
I'm all about it all day. Screen protectors and OtterBox. So.
No, the only thing that I did buy for this though is like the only case that I guess is a case that I would put on my phone. It's like I bought like this case on Amazon. It's like a bumper, so it goes around the metal part here. It goes around these edges here, but the front and the back are open. So it covers like the corners up here and like all this shit around the edge. Like it goes around the edge, but the front, there's nothing on the front and there's nothing on the back. So that's it. That's what I use. I don't like cases. I don't know. There's something about the feeling the way the phone looks or whatever. But yeah. Anyways, that's all we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get a good, easy show out there for you.
Hey, wait a minute, Jesus. Wait a minute. No, nothing really just super ass exciting to talk about. But I'm just playing a little bit of everything. I honestly, man, just trying to like more God of War, you know, trying to get more into that. Callisto Protocol. Fuck it, Jesus. You know, I said I hated this game. It's stupid. I don't like the combat. I started off a baby mode game. I'm like, you know what? I paid $70 for this game. I want to play a baby mode game. So, no, I got to get at least, if I'm going to get my money's worth, man, I got to get at least 10 hours out of this game. So,
good.
Right? It's got to be, yeah. It looks good, right? Does it play good? I don't think so, in my opinion. So I got to learn more about the story. I'm not going to fucking cheap out, man, and go, I'll just watch the YouTube section of it. Fuck that. No, I paid $70. I'm going to play this shit. Yeah, but another couple of great games that are on the Apple Arcade, you know, because I've had time to really get into this, you know, with, you know, great on a phone in a living room or at friends or families or whatever. Warped Kart Racers, Jesus. It's kind of stupid, silly, right? This is American Dad, Family Guy, King of the Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just fucking like, yeah, just a kart racer. So, pretty simple, dumb fun. And the other one is that Lego Castaways. I think this is they're always timed exclusives, right? That's what they are. So, playing Lego games with the controller on that Apple Arcade. So, yeah, I'm not a big... Some games I can just play with a thumb. You know, if it's racing or whatever, going up and down, left or right. Yeah, those are fun. And another game I started today, because I think it literally just came out today. I didn't see it before on Game Pass, is Stranded Deep. I know this has been out on Steam before, so... And I think I even put the question on Discord, was like, hey, is this like that game Raft? I think that was a PS4 exclusive at one time. Timed exclusive. Could have been wrong on that, but I was like, it kind of reminded me of that. So from screenshots. But so far, yeah, it's it's fucking Castaway, Jesus, is what it is. You fucking crash on a plane, end up on a teeny tiny little island. Lots of crafting involved. So I think that'll compel me to play more of that game. Like, oh, it's got a crafting system. I got bitten by a shark. I'm like, let me pull the raft in. So, yeah, I'm like, this game's kind of cool. It doesn't look that great. More of a B, you know? More of a double A versus any kind of triple A. So, yeah, check it out on Game Pass. Free Stranded Deep. I don't know if there's like a co-op thing to it or not. So, where I think that game Raft is more of that, you know, silly fun co-op stuff. So, yeah. Stranded Deep, man. And now I'm about to cook me some crab and yeah. Looks like it's got a health and food meter and shit to it. So, but yeah, looking through all that like crafting menu, it kind of shows you everything there. Obviously you got to, you know, get to that point, but it's like eventually you just probably build a raft and find your way out of there, you and your soccer ball. So, no, it doesn't have a soccer ball. So, it's not Tom Hanks, man. So, and a lot of times, Jesus, it's just been, I just let Satisfactory run in the background, you know, crafting things, making stuff. I'm just back in that same area, whatever, you know, nothing, no specific goals or whatever, just just playing with lots of mods, right? Flying around. I've just been flying around the world, collecting all the power slugs and, you know, lots of cheating. How about that? So, not cheating with like the, you know, a lot of the resources, not doing that, but I'll make those things. So, nothing extravagant, not making any big giant freaking factories or anything. So, yeah, having fun with mods. So, but that's it for me, man. So, a little bit of everything
for me, man. And I think we should just get out of here, Gunny. It's been a few hours now. We've talked a lot about video games. I don't really want to talk about news. We'll talk about news next week. This is just a little welcome back show.
And a happy new year.
We're still alive, people.
We're still around, you know.
Bear with us. I mean,
I think eventually we'll talk about, you know, the games that we really loved and enjoyed in 2022. And, you know, we'll talk about the games that we're looking forward to in 2023.
Death Stranding 2.
Oh, yeah, I always forget that game was announced. Yeah, I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. Did I not say that the last time? I can't fucking believe he's, like, announced that. But it's such a hit, right? And it's not the game that he always wanted to make, so.
And it's going to be so good. I need me some Death Stranding, bro. That game, I still think about that game years later, man. That's how good that fucking game is.
Yeah.
I want to drink all the Monster Energy drinks. I want to deliver rusty packages.
I like that. I think the funniest thing was when that game first came out, and there was like a really good YouTube video where it was just a guy who kind of a recreation, but more fucking just funny. Like I think he had like, it was nothing but like fucking, I think Domino's has the white pizza box, right? So he had just had them all like stacked up on his back, and he's acting like fucking Norritas. He's just going around and fucking pizza boxes are falling on people on the sidewalk and shit. But it was hilarious. So good times. Why I haven't finished that? Or yeah, barely played that one, Jesus, because you already played it. So yeah, should like it. It's an open world survival, sort of. So. And I like zip lines.
It's good. It's fucking good. Play it. But yeah, I'm on. Let's get out of here. Gunny.
Yeah, I got family out there yelling.
Follow us on Twitter, Horrible Gamers. Do this review on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, Facebook. Horrible Gamers Podcast Community is our close group. You can join that group by following our page, Horrible Gamers Podcast. Go support us on Patreon. Shout out to all the Patreon machines out there. You guys are what fuels this show.
Appreciate you guys.
Patreon machines. Oh yeah.
Yeah, guys, make sure you go over to your PlayStation, grab all your Plus games, your Xbox Gold. I think I just saw the one game on there, so nothing to shake up about. Nothing new really on Game Pass besides fucking Stranded Deep, baby. You know, that's the only thing that's out so far. I know there's some more shit coming. Grab your Epic Store games. Dishonored Definitive Edition. So yeah, and then there's something else. It almost looks like a free to play game, Jesus, but kind of sucky. So yeah, go find the Mayo over at the Mayo, and Ryan Gibb 8777.
Shout out to Leahy, Jason Sams, Robert Noble, Sean Patrick, Chad LM, Poor Chapu, Nipron, the best HGP host ever, Edward from Ohio, Jonathan Big Titan Big D Hall. And the first HGP Patreon, Bill Still, even the biggest D, Big D, Gardner, the second, the Elden Lord. Shout out to all you guys. And, yeah, let's get out of here, Gunny.
Let's get out of here. Let's reconvene next week.
We're going to reconvene next week. Well, bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Peace out, Brussels sprouts. We'll reconvene next week here at the Horrible Gamers Podcast. Goodbye. Bye.